Welcome back, everyone. We're now
Welcome,
live. We're finally
welcome. We're
back on the
We're
live.
page
live.
officially.
Yeah,
Yan!
finally.
Yeah, finally.
After how many days? 30 days, right?
30,
Yeah, after 30
yeah, 30
days.
days.
So, sa lahat po ng nanonood, nagtataka kayo, nag-i-English kami? Yan.
English conference today.
ELP po, English Language Proficiency tayo yun.
Arlo Bio present. Yan. Present
Yes.
lagi. So, ayun. Let's get started, no? So, we are the Flight Club. My name is Lo, short for
Yes.
Lawrence.
My name is Don.
My name is JP.
And Ina.
And today we're joined by our very special guest here. He is a missionary pilot based here in the Philippines, currently stationed in Batangas. Captain Davinn Benett. So, sir, for our viewers,
Welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us.
Thank you
for our
guys.
viewers
Salamat po.
and new supporters, tell us more about yourself and your background. How'd you get started, and how long have you been flying?
So basically, I'm from the beautiful island of Jamaica. For those who don't know where that is, just remember where the U.S. is. Go over to Miami, cross Cuba, the small island below Cuba. That's where Jamaica is. So from Jamaica to the U.S. is only 45 minutes flight, just like Bacolod to Manila.
45 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes,
Just real
yeah.
quick.
The shape of it is like Palawan, just wider and a bit longer, but it's kind of shaped like that. My story is very simple. I grew up in a single parent household. My mom had me when she was 19 years old. I'm from a rough neighborhood in Jamaica where gang violence, teenage pregnancy. As a matter of fact, my mom had me when she was a teenager. And growing up, my only ambition was just to survive, because I wasn't surrounded with family with big dreams and ambition. Like no one in my family that I know of. My mom had like 8 other siblings. I didn't know my dad's side of family, and all my cousins and stuff, aunts, uncle, none of them went to college. So when you're surrounded in a family where no one has certain dreams, then it's just not natural for you to have that kind of aspiration either, right? And so my only ambition was just to survive, live to see tomorrow. I've seen a lot of my friends get killed from violence with guns and drugs and different things. And I've been shot at myself, and I had to run for my life a couple times. I have been robbed at gunpoint about 2 occasions. I've had cars chase me down. So
So
I
while
tell people, based on where I'm coming from, the Philippines was a refuge for me. When coming here to a different country that's a lot safer than
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
home country where I'm from, and so that's kind of the backstory. As a teenager, I almost lost my life in a motor vehicle accident. 3 people died, 18 were injured and hospitalized. I was kind of the worst from the 18. I went to the emergency room with no pulse, bleeding from my face, broken bones, hand broken, leg broken. And it's a miracle I'm still alive. That happened 2001. And I was about 16 years old at the time. And I remember my background is Christian, so my mom was a praying lady, and so I knew how to pray when I'm in trouble. And so when the accident happened, I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm still young. I'm just in the ninth grade. I'm still a teenager, and I feel like today's the day I'm gonna take my last breath. So I said, Lord, here's the deal. If you allow me to live to see
To live.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
I promise you I will give you my life. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Just grant me life tomorrow and onwards, and I'll dedicate the rest of my life to doing anything you want me to do. And so shortly after that accident, I became a Seventh-day Adventist Christian. I started getting opportunity through my church to to go on mission trips. So I went to Canada as a missionary. Then I got more missionary training in the U.S. For a couple of years, and here I am in the Philippines now as a missionary for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came here, I was
Wow,
just a
11 years.
regular missionary. And
Mm-hmm.
being over here for a couple of years, I met an aviation ministry, a bunch of foreigners using airplane and helicopter to help Filipino in remote areas
Mm.
to transport them when they're sick and supplies and cargo and stuff. And I was like, man, that would be cool, to be a missionary
Yeah.
pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the director, hey, do you need more missionary pilot? And he's like, yeah. Sure. And he said, get your private and your instrument and come back and
Mm.
volunteer with us. And it took me 7 years.
7
7 years.
years.
Yeah,
Years.
7
To
years
get
to
all
get a private
the
pilot license.
licenses.
No, just one. The private
Oh,
pilot
the
took
Private
me
pilot
7
and
years.
people.
IR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you studied
7
here in the
years.
Philippines, sir? Or
Ah?
where did you study
You.
your
You're flying,
where did
sir.
you take your training?
I did it in the US,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
unfortunately. Yeah, I wanted to
Unfortunately.
do it in the Philippines, but yeah, I went to a school. So I prayed about it for 2 years, and I walk into a school there in Silay Airport, AAI to be exact. I
Mm-hmm.
walked into that school after 2 years of praying. I looked at the director. I said, "Sir, what would it take to help me to become a missionary pilot?" And he's like, yeah, at the time it was gonna be like $9,000. I'm like, man, I don't
Mm.
have that money.
Ju-
I don't know who has it. So
Mm-hmm.
then he gave me a discount, which was at the time it was about $1,000, 40 something thousand pesos. So
Yeah.
he's like, your tuition will not have any tax. So you'll get a tax-free
Tax
training.
free.
And then I said, but what if I don't have that money? Can I do a payment? It's like, yeah, sure, you can do 50-50 and stuff. And I prayed and talked to people that I remember from Canada days and back
Mm.
hometown and different people. And would you believe it? 2 years of praying and fundraising, I
Yeah.
only got $50.
50.
50.
50.
50 after two
For two
years.
years.
$50 after
Wow.
2 years.
For
That,
2 years.
sir, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
I was expecting you to say more.
No, $50, and it's from a
Okay.
friend who was with me, one of my classmates in missionary training in the US. She saw my stuff and reached out to me, gave me $50. I was like, Lord, this is not working out. So, long story short, 2015, I got a one-way ticket to the US. I was gonna go there. So I did everything, guys. I did my SPL, NBI, radio license,
License. Yeah.
medical,
Mm-hmm.
everything. No money to enroll in that
Mm-hmm.
school. So I'm like, man.
You
So
took the
I
risk.
got a chance to go to the US thinking I'm gonna go to the US and do some mission work, tell people my story, raise the money, and then come back to the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't reach the goal. I traveled what, 7 different states, 34 different times. I just couldn't reach the goal. So a
After all of that,
Filipino,
sir, how much money did you raise or got?
during that fundraising time, sometime I'd have like 4,000, three
Okay.
thousand. I needed
Mm-hmm.
8,000. I just couldn't get to 8,000. So
Yeah.
it wasn't working out, getting discouraged. I'm there for a year, and a Filipino friend of mine, he's like a brother. I was in San Diego doing a preaching appointment. I met him. He
Mm.
said, hey, since you can't reach the goal, have you ever thought about doing your training here in the US? I'm like, no, I've never thought. He's like, yeah, find a school. So I reached out to an international school. They helped me to get on board, and that's how I got my private pilot's license. I was with
Mm.
them 2016. I finished the private 2018 because that
2018.
school was not cheap, guys.
Mm.
Nako
Mm-hmm.
po, mahal yun.
Ako
Oh
po.
my God.
Nako po.
As an international student, I was spending $1,000 per week on
Per
flight
week.
training.
Sheesh.
$1,000 a week just to be on the
Mm.
schedule. 2 hours ground, 2 hour flight. $1,000
1,000.
weekly. And so there were times when I'm out of training for 3 months, 4 months. I'm
Mm.
on the schedule now, I'm off the schedule. So I started 2016. I have my logbook here, still
Mhm.
the same one from the States. And it still has my very first lesson there when I started out. Yeah, fly it the
Mm.
12th of the 9th, 20, yeah, December. Yeah. And then my first lesson, Montgomery, was a local flight, 2017. And I got the license 2018, private
18.
pilot. That's it.
Mm.
So when I came to the Philippines 2018, I only had a private and 73 hours flight time.
How many, sir?
73.
73 hours.
73 hours.
73 hours and I spent just on tuition alone 22,000 US dollars
Mm.
Oh.
just
Oh.
for the private. And it's because it's an international school. They call it a part 141. So
Mm.
there's a syllabus and different
Yeah.
class. So, you have to take a lot of ground during that program because the part 61, where you kind of study the theory on your own and do more flight lesson with an instructor to the side, that's only available for like American citizens.
American
So
citizens.
an international student like myself, you have to be enrolled in a more intense program. So they have stage check.
Mm.
So the setup is like this, guys. In order for me to do my first solo, I need to go through the maneuvers with my instructor,
Mhm.
demonstrate proficiency to him, and then he
Mm.
will endorse me to the chief pilot who will drill me on a mini check ride. So she'll drill me on ground and
Yeah.
then flight, and then I can do my solo after that.
Mhm.
Mm.
So it's like
Yeah.
you're doing it so intense that you have
Intense.
to prove to your instructor first, and then your instructor put you in front of the chief pilot. You pass
Mhm.
that with the chief pilot, then you go do your first solo in the pattern, your second solo unsupervised, then your first solo cross country,
Mhm.
and then your final check ride. So it's a lot more intense. And every time I run out of money and I go back to the school, I have to do refresher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have to
Mm.
show them that I still remember how to fly and all that. So what I did when I didn't have money for to be on the schedule, and this is something I share with aspiring student pilots, I would make my little baon, go to school, and I sit in people's ground school for
Mm.
free. I
Mm,
go to
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
Sit
hey,
in.
Cap, what's your schedule today? Oh, you're in the same stage like me. Can I sit in your
Mm.
ground school? I
Mhm.
won't ask any question. I just want to sit and listen. So the
Listen.
theory was being refreshed over and
Mm.
over.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I say, hey, can I backseat on your lesson? I notice you're doing navigation. I'm in the
Mm.
same stage. Can I backseat? Headset, chart, book, and I'm there. Okay, so when you go on a prep for this one, you go here. These are the waypoints.
Mhm.
Mm.
So when I get money and I go back on the schedule, the information is fresh.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so
It won't be
I
as
kind of
surprising.
did that. I did that and it helped. And so anyway, I got the private. I came back to the Philippines and then it took me 2 years in your country to get my IR.
Yeah.
Sprint
What's
race.
the reason, sir?
It's required. The IR is I ended up in visa issue
Mm.
with the US. My school messed up my papers, so I kind of got a 10-year ban from America because of that. I
Mm.
couldn't sue the school because as an intern.
Wala.
Hello?
Wala.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So, saan ba't siya naban? Sabi niya.
Yung
Visa
papers niya.
problems.
Oo.
Uh,
Yun lang, nawala
yeah.
si sir.
Hold on. Technical
Down.
difficulties.
And,
Switch ko
Pre,
muna
ang
dito.
tahimik mo naman.
kasi nakikinig tayo ng matahimik.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. Sorry.
O, shoutout muna tayo.
Shoutout muna.
Down.
Ayan, sa laging present, si Arlo Biot, tsaka si Adrian Jan Montemayor. Shoutout nga pala sa'yo doon, tahimik ka din.
Hindi, sobrang interesting eh.
Ayan, welcome back, sir.
There you go, sir.
I thought when I'm talking about America, they pulled the plug.
America's
CIA.
listening.
So, you were in the Philippines, sir, when you got your visa Band?
Band.
Oh. Yun na naman.
Nako.
English na eh.
Na ano tayo ng US. Balik ko sa ano.
Sino ba? Basa muna tayong comments.
Oo.
Wala nagko-comment. Ayaw din
Ayun.
ata mag-English. Ayaw din ata mag-English.
Magandang gabi. Yun
Iyan.
So there's coming from Arlo Bio, there's a trivia. Mahirap mag-transfer from ICAO to FAA. Nag-inquire na ako before, ilan lang ang makredit.
Ilan lang ang makakredit na flying hours? Ganun?
Yes. From ICAO to FAA. And so gastos ulit.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Ha?
Still
It's
loading.
you, sir.
Still loading.
It's you, sir. We keep
Maybe
losing
your
you.
internet. Yeah.
We also how about you,
see
Ina? Are you
here.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Everything
Okay.
good?
I can't
Sorry,
see,
guys.
sir.
I was
Is he
doing
here?
the wire.
I think I have to refresh
Ah.
my...
It's okay, it's okay.
Ayan.
I'll just
so is
refresh
that
my
better?
browser. Hold on.
So, sir, going back to what you were talking about, where were you when you got your visa banned here in the Philippines?
When no, it happened in the US and they gave me 3 weeks to leave the country.
Hi, sir.
And so, because I was gonna do the instrument there, you know. But,
Okay.
yeah, it didn't work out, so I came back prematurely with just the private, and so the support wasn't so strong being back in the Philippines. So I I did a conversion first to get that private over to fly RPC because our ministry has RPC airplane. Particularly, they had a 172 at the time, and so my director and mentor here in the Philippines, he's also from the States. He said, "Hey, convert your license from FAA to RPC and our Capt, and that will give you flexibility within the ministry." I'm like, "All right, cool." And so I did that.
So originally, your plan is to fly in the United States, not here in the Philippines.
No, here. The original
here.
plan was always here. It's just I didn't make the goal in the US, so someone suggests I do it there, which was helpful because being there physically, I would run into people who offered to help me with training. Versus the Philippines, where when I was over here, nobody knew me. That's why 2 years I only got $50 because
$50.
nobody knew me. The people who knew me didn't have money to support my training.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, so the States work out better. Then I came here. I have the private. I did the conversion, and miraculously I did my check ride in Puerto Princesa, and Capt said to me, you know, we were flying back to Manila with Cebu Pacific after the check ride. So he's like, "So what are you gonna do?" No, I said, "Cap, I want to get my IR, but I don't know what school to go to." Am I allowed to promote my school?
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned
Okay.
yourself.
We're
Not in
like,
San Fernando, huh?
It's okay.
So yeah, so Cap told me go to Fast Aviation.
fast aviation.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And I looked up the requirements and I walked in there. As soon as I got in there, I met one of the worker there, Mom Jean, and she's like, yeah, Cap told me about you that we're expecting you. I'm like, all right. And as soon as they found out that I want to be a missionary pilot, my school was so awesome. They gave me a discount on the tuition. Yes, they gave me a discount on the tuition, and they've been so lenient. I only had enough to start ground school. I think it was 12 or 15,000 pesos at the time, about 300 something dollars. And that's what I started out with. Like, I had a vehicle. It's a Nissan Patrol Safari. The school is in Manila. I am living in Sri Lanka Vite. And I did the craziest thing, guys. I only had $300 and a little for food, but I didn't have enough for like Airbnb or hotel or boarding.
Yeah.
So what I did was I would drive to Manila. I know a place where I can park that has 24-hour
Oh,
security, and I park there. Maybe like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I would go to
morning.
Sogo, pay for a 3-hour promo, get a little sleep, shower,
Mm.
and then
Yeah.
It's the
and then go
grind.
to school.
Uh,
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you
yeah.
see me
Yeah.
at school, nobody knows I'm sleeping in a vehicle
mm.
at night
Yeah.
with Lamok coming
Yeah.
in, and sometimes
Yeah.
I run the little
For how
fan
long did
there.
you do that, sir?
Ah,
For how
For how
long?
long?
I did that for pretty much most of my ground school.
Ground
Mm.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get more support until further down when more people like I finished ground school and then I'm back home. I don't have money again. I'm like, oh, I'm used to this. You train when you can, you go home when you can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone donated some money because you know the 10 hours in an actual airplane at the time is 110,000 pesos for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did with that, I someone was able to help me with some of that money, and I got on the schedule, knocked that out, and I was getting ready for check ride, guys. So here we go. I'm filing everything. I'm
Yeah.
ready for check ride.
Mm.
Sim is going good, and then boom, Duterte decide to shut down the country, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
Nah,
Yeah.
pandemic. This was
COVID.
during the
Same
Yeah.
pandemic.
week
Yeah.
when I'm gonna do my check ride, here
Oh
comes
yeah.
pandemic. So that's it for school, that's it for training. And fortunately, our ministry has a November registered Cessna 182 up
Mm-hmm.
north, in one of our
mm.
bases up north. And they said, of all the pilots here, you're the one with an FAA license. So
Mm.
let me train you and you can fly that for a while. I'm like, all right, cool. So well, I
Oh.
got my high performance endorsement. Here I am doing
Mm.
my private pilot in a November registered aircraft using my FAA license and stuff. I was instrument proficient before I became instrument certified.
Certified.
I have a simulator. It's
Ah.
still downstairs. It's the same software my school used. As a matter of fact, when they had issues with their sim, they would wait for me to come to school. Cap, how
to
do you
fix
set up
to
the
help fix.
and because my director told me in the beginning, 2013, when I talked to the director of our aviation ministry, he said, get a software that will help you with your
Mm.
instrument stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to log 200 hours a month on that sim.
Sim.
You name it, I fly everywhere in the world, the
Yeah.
craziest approach. I know SafeStar. That I was in IR ground, right? And I
Yeah.
look at my instructor, Cap Magwan. I look at
Yeah.
him, I say, Cap, did you know that Subic Bay ILS is offset? He's like,
You know more.
he was like, how do you know that? I said, secret.
Secret.
you know. But yeah, I've done a lot of the instrument approach, Manila,
Mm.
RD06, ILS, I learned all that stuff flying on a simulator, and I still have it. Everywhere I live,
Mm,
I set up my simulator. It's
Sim.
still
Yeah.
downstairs. I had that since what 2014, so 10 years.
2014.
10 years.
10 years, same yoke. My yoke
Same yoke.
hasn't changed. Same yoke, different
What's your yoke,
box.
sir? Because
Ah,
we're planning to. What's your
Yoke do
yoke?
you use?
I am using, someone bought it for me. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
CH product yoke. Mora.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I couldn't afford the sci-tech stuff,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
and I started with a laptop. I
Mm.
bought the laptop for about 20,000 pesos in Mall of Asia.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
the
sim?
graphic,
What software do you use, Sir Davin?
I
The
Simulator.
explainer.
started with FSX.
Mm,
Yes.
And then I went up to Explain 9,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Explain
prefer
9.
Explain. Explain for me
yeah.
has better stuff with the controls. The
Yeah.
FSX
And
was a little bit too weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I rather Explain. And then
Explain has a better physics in terms of flying.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the physics of flying is way better on FSX. And then I tried Prepare 3D, but my laptop is low end, it's cheap, it
I
couldn't
couldn't
handle
run
the
it. Yeah.
graphics. it stutters and
Yeah.
plane has to load and all that stuff.
Yeah, I actually
Then I move up
recommend
to
that to people.
Explain 10. Now I
Explain.
have Explain 11. You know,
11.
I'm stuck with Explain 11. I like that software.
Yeah.
And since Explain 10 came out, I haven't gone back to FSX
Yeah.
or Prepared 3D. So I'm always using Explain 10.
Explain.
Explain.
Now I have
Yeah.
Explain 11. You know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the 12, but anyway, that's another. That's another
Honestly,
thing.
not
So,
much of a
so yeah.
difference,
So
but it's nice.
basically, the pandemic was where I really came to the scene when everything was shut down.
Shut down.
I was the only one flying
Flying.
Boston, Figaro, Palana, and Mako, Kauai. I mean, the radio was so quiet, guys. No other flight. During the pandemic, I spent 20 hours training on that airplane. Base was a 2,100-foot grass strip, you know, that's in a valley. So the elevation is like 500 feet above sea level. You got to really know what you're doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get in. And I found myself in the pandemic there flying about 10 to 15 patients every week. 15 to
Wow.
20 hours on average. I'm out there 7 days a week, you know. When I fly like 7 hours, I mean like 3 hours per day, I would be doing like 10 takeoff, 10 landings. Pretty busy. That's just short hops. Just crossing the Sierra Madre, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, patient, this trip, cargo, LSI, PNP, da da da, you know, just so many different missions. And then I was there enjoying all of that, and I said, hey, you know, I'd like to start a new project in a new part of the Philippines and let other Filipino have air service for their medevac. And the idea came to come to Batangas. I had nothing. I don't know where to find a strip, where to find an airplane. I just know I want to start something. So I lived in Dasmariñas for a year, praying, making videos, encouraging people, trying to find vlogs and all that. So, okay, quick question. Do you guys remember how much I got after 2 years of fundraising?
50.
50.
Right?
$50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this
Well,
time?
years later, when I got established and I'm doing missions and having Facebook, YouTube, and stuff, I fundraised for 9 months and the Lord blessed with $69,000.
Wow.
$69,000.
Wow.
3 point something million pesos. That's the airplane I'm flying now.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
what plane
fully
are you
paid.
flying now?
Huh?
What plane are you
What plane
flying?
are you?
Cessna 182P model
182.
1974, 230 horsepower.
Mm.
It's a beast. Love that stuff.
Is
Because I
that the
used to
same
fly the
plane?
172M model, which is 150
the mic.
horsepower. Man, that thing is slow. You know, I have a
That's what we are using.
Yeah, we're using mic
Yeah,
models.
I used to spend 7 hours doing two missions, like 7 hours flight time in a day. I've had times where I'm going over the ocean and my ground speed is 48 knots.
Wow. Too slow.
I'm like, I learned with that thing, don't look at the GPS, don't look at the heat. Just distract yourself, you know? Yeah, one time I took off from Puerto Princesa going to Mapun, and it took me from sea level to 6,500 feet, took me 100 miles.
100
Just to get there.
100 miles. Yeah, just to climb because sometimes
6,500?
the
Yeah,
VX
just to
is
get to
50,
6,500.
0, 50. 4 people. I was taking a 2 engineer and the chief of police. Yeah. So when I moved up to the 182, I was like, takeoff, like,
It's a sports car.
you know? And our ministry has a 206, so I got an opportunity to get my 206 rating as well.
Rating.
And that was the beast, man. You
Yeah.
got 5
bigger.
people, a patient lying down, a nurse, watcher. But between the 172, 182, and 206, my favorite is the 182.
182.
Yes, it's a lot more. It's actually for me, it's 10 minutes faster than the 206.
Does it have the retractable gears?
No, that one is
No, it's
fixed. They're
fixed,
all
fixed.
fixed. Yeah, they're
Fixed.
all
Yeah.
fixed. Retractable is a bit rough for a ministry because we don't stay
Mm.
on paved runways, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna need
Grass
a
strips.
mechanic to really
Grass
be a
strips.
retractable.
Mm-hmm.
So fixed gears a little more rough, can
Yeah.
take beat up
More.
uneven surface. Yeah.
Is the plane you're flying now the one in your video where it's getting
All right, you
Garmin
guys have more
upgrades?
questions?
Was it was it?
There's you seems to be so excited.
Yeah, so people might be wondering what I do. So basically, I'm a missionary pilot, which means that
Mm.
I'm not paid financially for what I
Yeah.
do. So it's
Mm.
completely volunteer, and I focus on medivac stuff, so humanitarian,
Mm.
meaning people who are in remote areas and they have a runway or airstrip, we go in there, we do a courtesy call, we introduce ourselves, and then they will get our contact number, whether it be the mayor, the mayor's
Mm.
office, the head doctor, a nurse, some contact who will see what's going on with the
Mm.
people medically, and then they will call us
So
for.
they have to like go through agency before they contact you. They can.
Not necessarily. They have direct contact. Some of the
Mm.
doctors, some of the nurses. We just have a designated person just for
Mm.
coordination.
Yeah.
We choose someone, or they
Yeah,
will
yeah.
select someone, and that person
Mm.
is the designated contact who reach out to us when they have emergency flight requests.
Yeah.
So those people, are they supporting your missions?
Which one? The ones who ask
No.
for a request?
Oh yeah, the ones who organize your mission.
So I'm a little bit of a crazy guy. I do some
Mm.
weird things.
Mm.
Because people want to be like me. All right, so here's the thing. When I came to join this ministry, PAMAS, or Philippines Adventist Medical Aviation Services, the 172 was theirs. That's the organization.
Mm.
The 182 registered to the US, that was also theirs. But I saw the dynamics of the ministry, and it's one where they want to grow more, but it's based on the volunteers. So if you come in and you just want to kind of bask in what they already have, then that might be an option for you where they give you a plane infrastructure and you might contribute minimally. But I'm a Christian where I want to grow my faith. And so I decided, how can I be an asset to this ministry? How can
Mm.
I contribute to it? And so I talked with the director, and I started with the airplane I was flying where it needed something, and I would fundraise on my social media platform to get an
Mm.
alternator, to get this, to get that, fuel to go help
You
some
will.
people like that. And my followers, like, what happened was my social media blew up in the pandemic, where
Mm.
they they saw my vlog. I think Washington Post journalists and photographers saw my content, reached out to me that they would like to feature my story. It got featured, went all over the world. A lot of
World.
people
Yeah.
reach out to me, got more subscribers because they put it in the article that I have a YouTube
Mm.
channel and a
Mm-hmm,
Facebook
mm-hmm.
page. And then China Global Television Network journalist who is friends with the journalist and photographer from Washington Post reach out and say, "Hey, we're friends with the guys who did the written article on
Written
you.
article.
We
Mm.
would like to do a video version of you." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So they came, they recorded, and my social media presence just started to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
blow up.
Started growing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was on Kamote Thursday. I don't know if you imagine
Come on to
that.
Thursday. What's
Those
come on to
guys,
Thursday?
they interviewed me, One Balita News with Pam
Mhm.
Castro.
Mm-hmm.
She did a clip on me as well. And so I just pretty much got out there. You have people like yourself with Instagram platform, pilots
Yeah.
back
Mm.
in Jamaica.
Mm.
A French journalist came. I was featured in
Mm.
the Catholic Journal here in the Philippines. So
Mm.
those publicity brought some attention to me. So when I went to try and fundraise to
Mm.
start a base and an airplane, you had couple thousand people
Mm.
following,
Yeah.
and so it's been growing
Yeah.
ever since.
Oh, that's good. That's good, sir.
So how was the previous base you were operating on? How was it?
It's good. It's it to me it's the most challenging place of all the bases we have. That one is the most challenging because of the mountains. The Sierra
Oh.
Madre Mountain is not something to play with.
I
Yeah.
mean, is it still operational now?
Right now they don't have a pilot for that base. Unfortunately, it's
Mm.
been closed temporarily for a while. So hopefully we
Mm.
find a pilot. But yeah,
Yeah.
it had a pilot when I left. There was a pilot there, but stuff happened and it's not functioning right now. There's not even an airplane there anymore.
Oh,
Okay.
there's no even.
So yeah,
Mm.
so and I'm covering for their like Batangas base. I cover for their stuff, even
Mm.
from here. So I brought a 16-year-old one time from Palanan to Kawayan, and he went to the ICU. He motor vehicle accident. He was on a tricycle and a motorcycle knocked him off. He was unconscious, and that was my last medevac, July 5th last year.
That was
Mm.
your last
From the
In
north.
that area, in
Oh,
that
in
yeah.
that
area,
area.
yeah,
In
Okay.
that
in that
area.
area,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I still serve Basco Batanes. Like if you go to my
Mm.
Facebook and my insights, my number one city where people follow me from is
Batanes.
Basco Batanes.
Basco Batanes.
Shout
Batanes.
out to all my Ivatans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
they're
out, shout
awesome.
out,
They're
Batanes.
awesome guys. You like I didn't know. So here's a joke.
Yeah.
In the pandemic, I'm doing missions to Batanes. I have no idea about Batanes before.
Mm.
I've been in the Philippines, what, 8, 9 years, never
But
heard
never been
anything
to,
about
yeah, to
Batanes. So
Batanes.
I went there, did a couple missions, shared a post, and a friend of mine in the States, he's like, "Oh man, it's my dream to go to Batanes." And so I'm like,
Mm.
what is
What?
so special about Batanes? So
What's
yeah,
with
I
Batanes?
googled it up. I'm like, oh,
That's
okay,
why. That's why. Okay. Okay. That's why.
that's why. Yeah, and some of my most amazing missions and stories is actually out of Basco. So CGTN had a story when they came. I was doing a mission in Batanes, and the One Balita News featured a patient from Basco as well, along with the Washington Post. Some of those pictures, if you've seen it, some of those photos were actually shot in Batanes. That's their first time to go there, and so they were cold. Like I remember on the flight, the journalist girl, she was like, "Up, it's so cold." I was at 8.5, cloudy, overcast, thick
8,500.
layer. I'm right on top, and yeah, it was cold. It was a cold one. It was a cold one.
So I have a question. What's your
Yes.
memorable flight in terms of emergency? What's the worst one
Um.
or
Well, I have my journal here. I write them
yeah.
all down. But there's one that pretty much
That
I'll
sticks to your
never
mind,
forget.
sir? Yeah.
It was this young boy who was having seizure, and the family reached out to me, but the weather was sketchy. Like thunderstorms was building. It's late afternoon, and I remember when I picked him up. Well, first I walked with some extra fuel. It was
Mm.
supposed to be a 40-minute flight, and I just saw a wall of thunderstorms. So I'm
Yeah.
going around. When I came around that one, there's more. I go
More here.
around, and I
Yeah.
kept going around stuff further and further
Further and
off
further.
that straight line. And I remember I started praying. I said, God, I lost a high school friend to seizure, so I know how dangerous this is.
This
I'm
is
trying to save this boy's life. You got to help me. I said, I'm going to go around one set of buildups here. And if when I come around, I don't see a clear route
bad.
over these
Yeah.
mountains, then there's nothing I can
You
do.
can
At
do.
least I tried, right?
Mm.
And I remember I came around the last bunch of CB clouds, And when I looked, I saw a rainbow over the mountain,
Oh.
blue skies for miles. I said, "This is it."
It's a sign, yeah.
And I went in. I remember I landed and I went to the family. I said, "We gotta go now." Yeah, I told her,
Now
I
it's
said,
the
"We have to
time.
hurry, hurry, hurry," because the rain, I said, "We have to hurry. It's a small window. We gotta go, gotta go." And they hopped on the airplane. I took them to Kauai and from Palanan, and they
Mm.
made it. And I got news later on that they checked the boy's brain. He's perfectly okay, and
Mm.
he's back home healthy and stuff. So that's one mission where I had to contend with weather, but the outcome was good. The kid made it, and that's one mission that stood out to me the most.
Mm.
When was it, sir? Is it recently?
That happened during the pandemic.
During the
Mm.
That was
pandemic?
during
Pandemic.
pandemic.
But do you do missionary flights every day, sir, or no?
The schedule varies. When I was
Mm-hmm.
at that base, it was the busiest. Here in Batangas base, not so busy. Maybe I'll do an average 2, 3 missions every 2 weeks or so. It
2 weeks.
depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends because one thing is when the weather is good,
Good.
the boats are going. So a lot of these patients will take the boat. When the
Mm.
boats
Mm-hmm.
are not
Mm-hmm.
going, like a Baguio, high waves and strong waves,
Yeah.
that's when people are sick and they need to go.
Mm.
So,
And
so
so,
that's when
season.
they call you to help
Yes.
them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mostly when they cannot go on the boats or it's a dire emergency, time is critical. There is some areas where they do have a commercial option, but they cannot be accepted with oxygen or the health condition. So they'll reach out. So it varies. It varies. Sometimes I remember at one point I was doing 25 hours every 7, 8 days,
Mm-hmm.
tons of flight. But there's times when within a week, maybe one mission. So
Mm-hmm.
it varies.
But how many
If,
hours?
okay, go
Sorry,
in.
sorry. How many
Go in,
hours
go
have
in.
you logged before doing your very first mission?
Mm.
When I came here, I had less than 100 hours before
Less
my
than
first,
100. No?
Before
because
Okay.
your
I
first
finished the
mission?
private with 73 hours. I had
Yeah.
to do 50 hours
Mm-hmm.
cross country PIC
Yeah.
for the IR
For the
Mm.
requirement.
IR.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
for
And
the IR
so
requirement.
while I was logging at 50 hours, I did mission. And I still remember my very first mission was to transfer. I had a safety pilot because that's our ministry. If you
Mm.
don't have
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
IR, they put you with a safety pilot.
Safety.
So
Safety.
we flew the 172 from Larugan Airfield in Bukidnon, Valencia,
Then,
Mindanao
Mm-hmm.
to Brooks Point, Palawan.
Palawan.
Yeah,
Mm.
we,
Cross.
So,
we
Yeah.
went through, we went from Lurugan airstrip to Sambuanga.
so
We
what happened
refueled.
to this mission?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Continue, please.
Yeah, so Mindanao to Sambuanga, refuel in Sambuanga, Sambuanga to Mapun, Tawi Tawi, refuel again, and then Mapun, Tawi Tawi to
Mm.
Brooks Point, Palawan. We brought an
Mm-hmm.
orphan. Someone had
Mm.
adopted her in Mindanao. They didn't want her anymore.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first mission to bring this orphan back to her family in Palawan.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay, okay.
You were gonna
So,
ask
Uh,
me?
what did you feel with your first mission? Because yeah.
It felt good because what happened is because I came here as a missionary
Mm.
first
Mm-hmm.
and I was here a couple of years, I went to Palawan to hang out with my missionary pilot brother for 3 weeks
Mm.
before flight school. So I knew the life. When I'm in flight school, I already know the airstrips are gonna be short, the plane is
Mm.
underpowered. So I knew what the life was gonna be like before I
Mm.
went to flight school. So after the first mission, I had a first-hand feeling of accomplishment. I was really
Mm.
Mm,
happy
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
First.
you had this weird dream. I remember I'm from a ghetto neighborhood, no ambition. Like if you ask
yeah.
me if I want to be a pilot, I'm like, there's no pilot in my family. There's not even
Mm-hmm.
anyone in here with a degree. Pilot me? Nope.
Easy answer. Nope.
Yeah, so I tell people, I say, when you see me flying an airplane, if you only know my story and where I'm coming from. So because people ask me that, like, are you gonna take these hours and go to the airlines?
Lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
I
course.
I don't have any interest in the airline. I feel like it's gonna be the most boring place for me. Not only that, I feel like it will be an act of treason if I go to the airline, because I
You
told you
promised.
guys, I
Yeah, you
You
told you
promise.
guys
promised,
a
Cup.
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
went to so many churches, different organizations. There were times I was interviewed before people gave me money for flight training. They interviewed me. I had to put it in writing that I want this money to go to flight school to be a missionary pilot in the Philippines. So if I go to the airlines, I feel like I would have betrayed so many
Yeah.
people around
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
yeah,
world.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah.
mission
And
aviation is why I got my license, not to build ours. So
ours
Yeah.
so
and
this
to
is
To
get
it
to
enter
for
the
fly.
me.
airline. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is it for me. This is the life. This is the thing. The stories behind the missions is really what I live for.
Yeah.
Like I look at the 7 years for the private, then 2 years sleeping in my vehicle in Manila, a few hours at Sogo to shower and go to
Yeah.
school smelling good. I look at all that, and when I look in the airplane and I see a patient behind me, I said, 9 years of struggle,
It was
it's
all
worth
worth it.
it. It was
Yeah.
all
It's
All
well
worth
worth
it.
it.
worth
This
it.
is the moment,
Beautiful.
This is the
Yeah.
moment.
I have a question, sir. If you
Yes.
don't have any medical mission, right? So what do you do? Let's say you said a while ago that every
You
2 weeks,
don't
right?
do.
You
Yeah.
have three flights
Yeah.
in 1 to 2 weeks, right? So if you don't have flight, what do you do?
So I cut the grass for the family. I fix the pipe. I
Yeah.
help out in the house. I cook something. I
So you're still
send a
a
bunch.
normal person after all.
Yes, normal guy. And as
Yeah.
a missionary here, way before pilot's license, I have some other small projects that I do. One of them is I will help people in whatever way I can, maybe buy them
Yeah.
some groceries. I do some driving. I give people like rice. I have a rice ministry. So I'll do that and different stuff. I do some online ministry as well. I
Online
spend
ministry.
quality time to make contact with my donors, talk to some of my subscribers and stuff. I do make little contents here and there, a little bit
There.
of writing.
Mm-hmm.
But the downtime is really, I try to give my family that time more than
The
anything
the,
Yeah.
because I
the quality
I
time that they need.
squeeze
Yeah.
in, yeah. And then I do errands for my ministry because I'm in Manila side and they're in the province. So sometimes they will ask me, take this to Capt, bring the life vest to be recertified. Can you get us some parts and this one and that one? And so, downtime is still work time for me.
No.
All right.
So you're like 24/7 helping other people.
Pretty much, pretty much. I'm on call from 4 a.m. to about 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is my cutoff time. Because there's one area here, Lubang. It's only 15 minutes to get there. So if I get a confirmation at 4, I wouldn't be able to get back to base, but I could take them to Sangli or Batangas before sunset. So 4 to 4, that's my on-call schedule. I make sure my phone is charged, that the contacts can reach me, and if I do any errands, it's within the area so I can easily
Yeah.
transition to get going for a flight.
Yeah.
So one more. I have to know.
Yes.
What's your worst flight? Do you have one? Like
I
almost
have.
an
The missions that gets me the worst is when the patients don't make it. Last week,
Understand.
last week, I had a 36-year-old patient who was a tourist in Coron,
Palawan.
had difficulty breathing, and went to the hospital, and they found a ton of things wrong with her. When I picked her up, she was unconscious on an ambu bag. So I brought my flight nurse. We went in, we picked her up, but this she wanted to go from Coron. They wanted to go to Calapan, Mindoro. And I remember when I took off, I was battling with a 20 knot headwind,
Mm.
and I
Sheesh.
need to cross over the highest peak on my road comes up to about 8,000 something. And I remember I saw all the build up CBs over Mindoro just to Calapan. I
Mm.
said, Lord, I don't want to go to Mamburao through the valley there in whatever and then
Yeah.
make a right turn, through Wawa. I didn't want to go Mamburao, Wawa because the patient is critical. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Lord, give me a way over
Mm.
the Mindoro peak. And he did. About 2 miles to the right, of course, the clouds were a bit lower, so I could do VFR straight over those. I remember the nurse told me that her vitals have dropped, so her O2 sat dropped, her
Mm.
pulse, everything dropped. And she started rubbing, and I said, you know, yeah, so long story short, that one is fairly fresh, but I've had a couple of those
Mm.
where when the patient doesn't make it, I get so emotionally hurt, even though these are strangers. I'm seeing
Mm.
for the first time, and when that patient died, they actually pronounced her dead on arrival. When the nurse video called me from the hospital and said the patient didn't make it, to come back to base is only 20 minutes. I couldn't make that flight. I was just emotionally a wreck. I just
Mm.
wanted to find a hotel, crash for the
Yeah. Stay the
night,
night.
deal with this emotional
Mm.
feeling. And so those are my worst, I would say.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
when they expire on the flight, the first, I've always dreaded the experience because I didn't
Mm.
know how I'm gonna respond. And I remember when the first guy died, he died within 30 minutes of
Mm.
departure, and it was from Mapun to Zamboanga. I had to fly with him for another about 2 hours,
Course.
covered under a sheet, and then it's the 206 I'm flying. The wife is in the co-pilot seat. The nurse was back there. The gentleman died, and then the nurse asked me to tell the wife that
Mm.
your
Oh my God.
husband is no
Yeah.
longer with the. And it
Mm.
took me a while. I had to
Mm.
get
The
all the
process. Yeah,
strength
yeah.
and everything, and then she didn't have a headset.
Mm.
Okay.
So
It-
so I had to do the
The
Mm.
sign.
Yeah. The
sign.
And
sign.
when I did
Sign.
that, I remember the look on her face. She turned her head to the window on the right and she kept it there for 2 hours.
Wow.
Quiet, never said a word, and yeah, that was it. So those get me. They
Yeah.
get me every time because I feel like I always want the success story where they actually.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reality is there.
It's
This
not
is the
always a
reality.
success, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my question, sir, is how do you overcome this like these emotions when you're flying the plane?
During your
If
flight.
if you
Yeah.
know that they're dying.
My training kicks in all the time.
Mm.
And some things I think about, I said, okay, I do cry, but I have to hold myself together
Yeah.
Yeah.
because one person is dying, but if I don't do my job, you're gonna have five fatalities here
Yeah.
because this
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
pilot couldn't
Mm.
hold
Okay.
it
Good point.
together. So
So you have to get it together.
I always remind myself of that my very first job is to safely fly that
Fly
airplane.
the
I have
airplane.
my
Yeah.
nurse, I
Mm.
have the relative, and so get the job done. When you get on the ground, then crash at a
Mm.
hotel. You don't have to fly home if you're not.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
while I'm in that moment,
In the
I
flight,
know
yeah.
I have to be safe. So
Safe.
that helps me a lot. I'll get myself together. I'll hold the emotion intact and remember my first job is to fly the airplane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
a follow-up question.
Sure.
Do the ATC know that you're the medical evacuation, right? The airplane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do
They
they give
know.
you priority?
Yes. I love it. So if you're a Cebu Pacific, sorry man. When I say Medevac 1282, I am number one priority. They will
Priority.
put, yeah, actually, I've always wanted to go into Naiya International Airport. And I was going to Sangli. The lady gave birth in a small island. She's bleeding. The baby is fresh. They cannot stop the bleeding, so they
Bleeding.
asked me to rush her to Sangli. I took her to Sangli. 20 minutes to there. They approach, came on frequency. I'm talking to Sangli, and they go Medevac 1282. VFR flight is
So,
suspended.
the,
I'm like, what?
Mm.
So I was holding 20
yeah.
miles out from Sangli, holding. Okay, any improvement? Nope, VFR still. So
Mm.
I told him, I said, could you ask Manila if they would accommodate me? Because I told him straightly, I said,
Yeah.
I have a lady here and I'm trying to help save her life.
Mm.
Can you help me? And
Me.
so they said, okay, stand by, Cap. They coordinated with Manila, and man, I'll never forget.
Forget.
Manila approach came back.
Mm.
Cebu Pacific, blah blah blah, heading, altitude, contact, da, da, da. I
Redirect.
mean, they got rid of all the
Mm.
commercial
The traffic.
flights.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this little Jamaican pilot with this little Cessna
In a
182
Cessna.
lined up for VOR approach for runway 06 at Naiya.
Oh.
I look at that
What Cessna did
Yeah,
you fly
man.
during that
So
time,
it
sir?
was
182?
like a dream
182.
come true.
182,
man.
182.
Huh?
It's Cessna 182.
Yeah, Cessna
clear.
182
All
on
clear.
the ILS, putting along at 100 knots. I'm like, oh, I don't want to ask these other guys how they're feeling. And it was a Sabbath. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. It's a Sabbath. And before that, when they cleared me for the VOR approach, I didn't have any charts with me.
Mm. Oh, really?
PFR, I don't have any charts, but I'm like, I'm instrument rated. I know the VOR frequency,
Frequency.
114.4. The
114.4.
radial is like that. So I'm like, dude, So I told the controller, I said, sir, he cleared me for the RNAV approach 06, but I'm like, I don't have the chart. I'm under a lot of stress, and I'm into the weather because the clouds were
Yeah.
low. You have mild CB throwing me around. So I said, hey, I'm requesting radar vectors to Yeah, I said I
Yeah.
want radar. So he gave me a heading, and I cannot fly the heading. So he asked me on radar. He's like, Medevac 122, fly heading. I said, stand by. Because I'm battling with the weather. The winds
Yeah.
are throwing me. The rain is heavy. The lady's dying. I cannot make it to Sangli. And so I'm just keep your wings level. Anyway, I broke out and I'm looking at it, but I didn't want to go into Manila though. So I can see Sangli on my left. So I'm telling them, can I go to Sangli? I have visual. I think I can make it. No. Medevac 122, Sangli Tower is saying VFR flight is still suspended. 2 miles later, sir, Sangli.
You can see Sangli.
Because I'm like, so what happened is the ambulance is waiting in Sangli for the
Sangli.
patient. I don't have cell phone coverage to tell them that I'm diverting to
Diverted
Manila.
to
The
Manila.
lady's bleeding. I don't know what to expect. It's a big international airport, all kind of stuff. And anyway, miraculously, I landed on 06. I taxi. I asked for
Oh,
permission taxi.
06.
I'm looking at all the big beasts and stuff. And interesting enough, I parked if you guys have done your IR, when I did mine, where I'm parked is the exact place, Foxtrot 1 Bravo. That's where I was parked in the Gen Ab side. And anyway, long story short, ambulance came, doctor came, they got the lady off the airplane, they called the ambulance from Sangli to come to them. And then, VFR flight is up until sunset. 2 people came, Cap, don't worry, let's go to this office. They made phone call, email to coordinate to get me out of Manila. So I'm right behind an Air Asia, and I'm like, man, I don't want this thing to blast me with the engine. So anyway, the air traffic controller came back to me and he said, Medivac, I mean RPC 1282, confirm Victor Fox. I'm like, Victor Fox?
Your Fox.
Oh, VFR. Yeah, VFR. So he told me, use that taxiway to cut in front of the Air Asia guy and line up on runway 13. I'm like, nice. So
VIP.
the Air Asia guy, he didn't like that. So when I took off, and I grabbed my phone, I grabbed a little video, content, and I'm climbing out. And he said, the Air Asia guy asked the air traffic controller, he's
The
like,
ATC.
sir, confirm VFR flight departing. What time does VFR? Da, 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 da. He was not happy. So the air traffic controller said, well, Cap, your block time is not yet. You still have to wait. That is a diverted medevac flight that came in early, and we're trying to help him to get home. So I went to Batangas. I got to Batangas within like 15 minutes. And when I landed, my landing light was illuminating the cane field and the hangar. It was getting a bit dark. I landed about 10 minutes before sunset. And so that one was like the miracle.
The miracle.
So I've been to Manila. Yes.
Like a buzzer beater.
Yeah. And I know they want the moral of the story for that is, once I'm medevac, when I make my initial call to approach, I always say requesting priority landing. And so they will put the Air Asia or Cebu Pacific or PAL, they will put them in a holding pattern just to get me. They will say, hey, extend your downwind, give way to the medevac. So I'm always priority. And I am medevac going to get the patient and with the patient. So I use that call sign, even the patient is not with me. But going home, I'm just RPC 128.
Oh, yeah. If you're just alone, you just say RPC. If you have really an emergency, you tell them
but
it's
if
medevac.
I'm going for the patient, though, so on the way to the patient,
on
I'm
the way to the
medevac. Because if I don't, Manila will divert me all the way north 10, 15 miles. The patient is dying. I need to get them ASAP. So on the way to get the patient, it's still medevac 128. Yes.
Right.
But sir, how many missionary pilots? Do you have any idea how many missionary pilots are here in the Philippines?
Or you're the only one?
No, it's the ministry has been around now for, I think, since 2007. That's when that
2007.
ministry started.
Is it the PAMAS, sir?
PAMAS, yes.
Yeah, it's the
PAMAS has
PAMAS.
been around since 2007. The last time I counted, we had 1, 2, 3. I think it's like 4 of us now. Yeah, 4.
Okay.
4. No, 4, 5, 6. About 7 or 8.
7, 8.
Give or take, 7 or 8.
So are these pilots are Filipinos or?
Most of them are foreigners.
There is
Also.
no Filipino right now.
There's
We've had Filipino in the past, but they're all Americans. And we have 1 Canadian. And I'm the only Jamaican.
Do you like Jamaican patty?
Huh?
Do you like Jamaican patty?
By the way, just a disclaimer: some of those flavors only exist in the Philippines.
In the Philippines.
What's your favorite flavor?
Like, we don't have mushroom and
Pinatubo, spicy.
we don't, that's a Philippine brand patty. And if you go to Jamaica, we have a vegan option where it's veggie. We call it one soy.
Soy.
When I go home, that's the first thing I want to eat.
The one soy.
So when was the last time you went home to Jamaica?
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Been a while.
8 years ago.
So what does your family say about what you're doing?
So my mom fluctuates a bit, but she's happy for me.
Yeah.
She's happy for me. I'm in a different culture compared to the Asian culture. I get to do whatever I want. with my life. But yeah, my mom's happy for me. She'll call me. She's like, "Are you still flying the airplane and helping people?" Yes, mom, I'm still flying.
Still on
Okay,
it.
is the plane okay? You know,
Mm.
she will ask those
Yeah.
questions and stuff, and she's really supportive of the fact that I mean, what I'm doing is kind of what I saw my mom doing. She was always helping people for free. She went way beyond her mere work just to be kind. Like, even though she's not working anymore, but she will always find time to help someone in the community, like seniors who are bedridden. She wash their clothes, cook their food, clean their house, you know, and then become friends with these people. Sometimes she will call me. She said, "Oh, you know, my friend who was sick that I was caring for, she died, and I'm so sad." And so when I listen to her after I got older, and I listen to her, I realized that I have the same
Yeah,
traits. Like, I get
yeah. You got
emotionally
it from your
involved
mom.
with strangers who
Yeah.
become like family, and if they die, it bothers me. And so
Mm-mm.
I grew up seeing my mom helping a lot of people, and I
Mm-mm.
think without recognizing it genetically, I
No,
guess
yeah.
I find myself doing the same.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you so much, Sir Davin. Unfortunately, with the time that we have, we're gonna have to yeah, cut it here. But is there anything or anyone you want to, give a shout out to, promote, advice to
Yeah.
pilots? And actually, we have a comment here from a viewer, Lester KD. Can't wait to read your book, Kuya Davin. Great testimony.
So, yeah,
Do
are
you
you
have
Probably a
writing
book,
a book,
book
sir.
sir?
or
Yeah.
Yes, I am writing a book. It's called
Mm.
Flying by Faith.
mm-hmm.
It's how God used the Seventh-day Adventist Church to give my life a resolute purpose and a meaning.
Mm.
I started out by, I have a journal
Journaling.
here
Journal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where I kind of try to keep a record of the people I've helped. I write stuff time to time. I put it on my website. I put it on my social media account. And yeah, basically, I just want to, I definitely want to have a book at some point to just inspire people around the world that, you know, I meet so many people and they'll say, "Oh, I wanna be a pilot, but I don't have money." And I say, "Well, I didn't have money.
Have money. Yeah.
Mm.
I still cannot tell you how I came up with $22,000 to
thousand
pay
Yeah.
for a
dollars.
pilot.
Mm.
You know, the instrument was about $7,000. Doing recurrency and check ride for this and that, and like, if anyone should not have been a pilot, it shouldn't
Mm.
be me. And so I tell people that honestly, my life is one where if you go to my Facebook, you will see a little caption there that says, "The life I'm living now, it's just a miracle, and it's only by God's grace that I woke up to this life. I never had any dream or ambition to fly, and the only thing I
Mm.
can say is when I gave my heart to Christ and I became an Adventist Christian, God just put me in places to travel and see the world as a missionary. And the height of that accomplishment was discovered here in the Philippines when I came. You know, because people ask me,
Mm-hmm.
"Would you like to go fly in Jamaica?" I said, if I was
Mm.
back in Jamaica, I would be more like, "Am I gonna live to see tomorrow?" You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I left, my mom told me, "Don't come back." Yeah,
Don't
rough
come back.
neighborhood. She
Mm.
said, "Don't come back. Figure out life there. This is not a place
Mm.
I want you to be." And it's just because it's dangerous, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so piloting was not a dream that I had. I just happened to be here because I felt like as a missionary, there's more I can do. And if
Yeah. You
getting a
can
Mm.
pilot's
provide.
license and
Yeah.
doing mission aviation stuff is going to help more Filipino people,
Mm.
count me in. And it has done that. It has
What
done that for me.
what was your first dream?
When I did have a dream, I wanted to be a technical engineer.
Technical engineer?
Yes,
Mm.
I like details. I was like
Mm.
technical engineer because
Mm.
when I watch the news and you have the credits rolling up, I always saw that title there, technical
Technical.
engineer.
So
I was like, man, who is that guy? So, and then I like electricity and electronics and circuits and stuff. That was my vocation in high school. And so that was my dream. And then later on, when I started traveling, I said, okay, my American dream is to drive semi trucks. I love driving.
Okay.
I cannot get enough driving, man. My longest road trip in the Philippines is Dasmariñas to Mindanao.
Dasmariñas to Mindanao.
Yes.
You
road trip
Road trip.
from Dasma to Mindanao.
Roro.
Yeah.
You put it in a Roro.
Roll off. I took the Leyte route, the long one where you
Ah.
do 2 roll-on, Macnog and the other one.
Mm.
And I went from Dasma 7 a.m. one Sunday morning when you remember the Baguio that affected Surigao? I went there about a week later in
The Baguio.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was thinking Baguio.
You're
Yeah, I
back?
was thinking Baguio and Surigao. It's Baguio, right?
No.
A Baguio, right?
Yeah, so I went. So I left Dasmariñas, Cavite about 7 a.m. one Sunday morning, and I got to Surigao 58 hours later. I'm in Surigao.
Sheesh.
58 hours. Coming back, guys. Coming back. 38 hours.
38 hours.
All by myself.
Oh
That
my
little
God.
beast. I got a Nissan Patrol Safari, top off the tank. And I had an amazing thing on the trip. The thing that stood out to me was I reached an area where I needed to do a number one. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here. Let me go take a leak. I got out of my vehicle. I'm in a weird place. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just following Google Maps,
Yeah.
And I'm going back to the vehicle when a van pulled up in front of me and the guy was coming towards me. And I'm like, this is not,
Not good.
it's like, is he good? So he came up to me and he's like, sir, he was showing me a gold watch, telling me to buy the watch because apparently they wanted money for fuel. So their vehicle ran out of fuel. So he's asking me to buy the watch so they can have money. I said, what do you need the money for? He said to buy fuel. And I had top of my tank. I know as a pilot you walk with extra fuel, right?
Yeah.
So I had a couple liters. I had about 420-liter bottles of extra diesel. So I just gave him 2. That's like, here you go, man. And poured it in his tank. He's like, oh, you're Boy Scout. You're ready. I'm on a long trip. I was bringing rice and some beans for some families there who was affected by the recent typhoon. And So and even flying now, because I was a missionary before the pilot's license, a lot of my routes that I fly to, I've driven those. I've driven to Tuguegarao. I've driven to Quirino province, different parts of Manila around. So a lot of my routes I've driven. If I haven't driven it, I have taken commercial flight, barco. If you go from Manila to Puerto Princesa on the ship, it leaves only on Friday nights. It's 31 hours. You leave Friday night, you get there Sunday morning. You do a boat ride from Bacolod to Manila, it's 16 hours. They have 2 or 3 trips per week. My longest boat ride was Puerto Princesa to Iloilo.
So wait,
Don't do that trip. It's the worst, man.
It's the worst.
I had to take a shower in Coron at the beach because the CR is so pangit,
Pangit na, baho pa.
So, I was so seasick. I couldn't use the bathroom. So I'm like, man, I need to shower, I have the putok already. So we stopped in Coron to load up for supplies, and man, I took a bath right there in the beach side of Coron. So I've traveled land trip, boat trip, barco, pedicab, tricycle, jeepney. I mean, anywhere you put me in the Philippines, I will figure out the commute route. Anywhere, Manila, anywhere. I've been through it. If you want to save money from the airport, there's a bus. Only what 20 something pesos, and then one jeepney right there
So
in
you're
front.
more, Sir Davin, you're more familiar
Yeah,
in the
because
Philippines.
people argue with the taxi guys. I just go, no, I know how to commute. I go light. I only have one bag. There's
Mm.
the bus. I know it's gonna drop me, and then I take a jeepney. Para po, or if I'm
Mm.
in Bacolod, lugar lang palihog, you know.
Because
So
you're a local. You're,
yeah,
you're a local
yeah,
already.
yeah.
I
I
have a
mean,
question, sir.
11
I'm
years.
just curious. What's your favorite what do you call this?
Food,
Filipino
Yeah, yeah. What's
dish.
your
food.
favorite food? Or the yeah,
Uh,
food.
favorite food would be laing.
Laing.
Cooked
Laing.
by
Ah,
Spicy.
yeah.
Spicy
Bicolano.
laing or
Woo.
just
Lying
mild?
is so good.
Super
Oh,
spicy.
with the silly, with
Oh,
silly.
yeah.
Sili.
Yeah,
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 Sili.
yeah.
laing is
Mm.
my favorite. Man, when I get that stuff, I cannot get enough. Once I meet someone from Bicol, I say, hey, you make laings
It's
for me, right?
time.
The one of the cameraman from CGT and Kuya Mark, he's from Bicol, and it was raining when they were shooting the clips. So he told me he's from Bicol. I said, Kuya, you need to make laing. So we went in town, we bought the laing, the gabi leaf, and he cooked it. Anyone from Bicol,
Made
that's
it
their
He knows how
favorite.
to cook laing.
It's the best. With rice? Ah, sarap yun.
Sarap.
Sarap yun.
Sarap, sarap,
and
yeah.
then and then I like the ginatan from
Mm.
Ilocos. The Ilocanos make the best ginatan with the
Yeah.
bilo, you know.
Mm.
I
Like
don't
the
tell
dessert.
them. I don't tell them, but I get stomach ache every time I eat it because of
Mm.
the mix. But it's
Mm.
so
Yeah.
good, you
But
know.
it tastes
It's
good.
good.
Yeah.
So I eat it, I smile, but then later on, like,
Sarap. Like that. Sarap.
so those are my two favorite food here in the Philippines.
What's your favorite place or province here in the Philippines?
When I lived in Bacolod, City of Smile, that for me was the best place I've ever lived.
Mm.
Bacolod,
Bacolod.
City of
Bacolod.
Smile, yes. I was in
It's
more
because of
chalet
the
there.
people, the culture, the food
Yes, the
also.
people there. I love the Longo dialect. It's so malambing, you know,
Mm.
and it's really nice for me. So Bacolod was my favorite. In terms of missions, flying missions, where are my Ivatan? They love this. Flying missions to Basco Batanes is
Mm.
my top
Batanes.
place to go. Like
Mm.
when I go there, there's this feeling of yeah. Actually, I'm flying there in pandemic. After pandemic got lifted and I could go beyond the airport, I was doing a medevac. I went there the night before, spent the night, and it's
Mm.
like, man, everywhere I went on the island, hey cop, hi cop, hey cop.
Mm.
I'm like, these people,
It's
you know.
empty.
So the Ivatans and I, we have this social media relationship where once I show up, I mean, I'm spoiled. They spoil
Mm.
me. People message me, Cap, I have a spa in Batanes. Who is with you?
Mm.
You want massage? You want
Mm.
this? You want that?
Mhm.
Cap, eat at this restaurant. It's free just for you.
Mm.
You know. And so the Ivatans for me in Basco is my number one place.
Mm.
They're like a family for me.
Mm.
Mhm,
They're a
mhm.
family. They support my channel the most. Every time I look at my insight, top city, Basco
Mm.
Batanes.
Basco
Every
Batanes.
time. Hasn't changed. No
Mm.
city has outdo them yet.
Shout out to the
So
people of
it's a
Batanes.
place, and
Shout out
again,
Batanes.
huh?
Shout out to the
Yeah. Shout
people.
out to Basco. Everyone there in Batanes, Itbayat, Basco, and oh man, what's the name of the other one? It's three. It's three islands. They're gonna kill me. The mayor and I really close, and then here I am. I don't remember her.
I think the flights in Basco stopped, right?
In the pandemic, yeah, they had stopped
Like
before, but
no, like recently they only resumed it like this week.
oh
I saw it in the news,
oh wow.
but
Was that weather? Oh well, you know there's some
Well,
weird
maybe the
things going
weather.
on with
Oh, maybe
China
with
and
the
stuff.
weather. Oh, no, China.
Yeah, the last time when I went there, my it was a sad mission. I had transported a young out.
Mm.
He didn't make it, so I brought him back for
Mhm.
closure with the family, and there was a strong American military presence there, so they were really
Mm.
practicing a lot of stuff.
I see.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
How can I forget it by that? But
Uh,
uh,
Do you
so
have any
yeah,
question, Don?
go ahead.
yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Guy, do it. Hey, go
No,
ahead, man. Hit me up.
sir, we love your stories. I think the time is not enough for your
That's fine.
stories. Maybe
Okay.
we
We can have
can,
the part 2.
All
yeah,
right.
part
Yeah.
two, and maybe
Hoping
we
for more
can go there
parts.
We
Maybe we
to
can
also
visit
we
you
Batangas for
there.
sure.
we can
Yeah.
visit and
Maybe we
experience.
can visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do have that. So I have a program, guys, and I'll shoot it out at you. I think your channel might be supported heavily
Mhm.
with social media folks. But I do have a mentorship program where I give
Wow.
back to people what was given to me. 3 weeks before I went to fly school, I spent 3 weeks with a missionary pilot. I open that option up to people. Like once I get to know people a lot and I feel comfortable. The last lady who has a pilot's license came
Mm-mm.
to spend 3 weeks with me. She is now volunteering as an EMT in one of our air base, Cap G.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So whenever I get an opportunity and you have aspiring pilots, I say, hey, come see me, see what my world
Mhm.
is like.
Mm-mm.
If I have space and I can bring you on a mission, by all means, let's do it. Because
Mm-mm.
so many people help me, and I feel like all the avenues I can give back to inspire other people.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you guys want to make a trip down, just bear in mind, huh? I'm on call 4 to 4 1. I can plan something with you right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
phone rings, and tomorrow morning I'm
Mm-mm.
gone and I'm out for
Let's go.
2 weeks. So you just have
It's
to be
understandable. Yeah.
flexible,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
definitely, if you guys are inclined to make a trip down, we can talk offline
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
some address and detail,
Mm.
and I would be more than happy. And as I said, if you time it right when I'm working on the plane and doing a little maintenance stuff, you may get a lap in the pattern.
Mm.
See their
Touch and go,
faces
touch
like,
and go.
Yeah. Touch and go
yeah, yeah, yeah.
challenge.
So anyway, that's a possibility
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
that I
Thank you,
may
sir.
throw
Thank you,
in.
sir.
I,
Thank
I
you.
Hey,
just
no
wanna
problem.
say something,
Sure.
because before I always tell my friends that I want to fly medevac and like cargo supplies before I go to airlines.
Mm.
Because as a common dream for pilots, like in our age, it's the dream
Become an
is to
airline.
to work for an airline. So
Mm.
I was telling them that I want to experience medevac and like cargo before going to airlines, just to experience the different aircrafts and different like
Environment.
remote
Yeah.
airports before I go to
The
airlines,
commercial
to
one.
have like stories like yours. But now
Mm.
that we have talked, sir, my
Mm.
I have a realization that I want to do medevac and like the things that you do just to help, like
Mm.
just
Mm.
to do good
Help
for
people.
other people,
Yeah.
not for myself, not to experience, like to have a story, but
Mhm.
just to do good.
Yep. Yep.
You
That's true.
inspired me, sir. You
I'm
that
happy to
just
hear that. So you're Lorenzo, right?
no, I'm done,
He's
sir.
You're
done.
Don. Where's
Mm.
where's he?
Lawrence.
Okay, Lauren. Okay, all right,
Lawrence
Don.
is the
So
one wearing the eyeglass.
So
Mm.
basically, I do have missions time to time with an extra seat. Especially there's times when I'm doing like a cadaver transport,
Oh, yeah,
and it's just me and the cadaver,
yeah.
nobody else. If you wanna be on a standby, I used to take my videographer. Sometimes he's busy. He's also
Mm-mm.
an aspiring pilot, wants to go to fly school. So if you want, I could throw you on that where if I'm doing something and helping out and I have that extra seat and
Mm-mm.
you want to tag along to be a
Yeah.
part of helping the people, I'd be more than happy to give you that experience.
Yeah,
Right? I
that's
just
very
lead people
appreciated.
because it's aviation, it's dangerous, so you
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
know we can trust people to
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
beside you and not some weird people doing. It's
Good
like
God knows.
background check.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sure, you're doing good. But
Yeah.
I'd be more than, and it's just flexibility. Like
yeah.
if I
Mhm.
know, sometimes I get very limited notification of the
Mm,
mission, but if sometimes some are planned ahead of time,
mm,
and I could definitely reach out to you and say, hey, I have this mission. This is what I'm gonna do. I have a seat. You wanna tag along
mm.
and go get it done and come back. You drive?
Yeah, we
You
drive
drive?
there. Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
there you go. Problem solved. You just
Mm.
gotta make the trip down and bring your headset, your gear, and okay,
And
you have to have a survival bag for at least a day or two and
Yeah.
reflect the
Mhm.
Ron
in
kit.
Ron
case
kits.
Mm,
weather or different
mm,
things. You might not come home the same night.
mm.
and Sir Davin and
Yes.
Don is near in Batangas, right? You live in
I live in
Cavite.
Cavite.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
Mm.
he's
very
in
very
Cavite.
near.
Oh yeah,
Very
that's
near.
close. That's close.
Yeah.
We're
I
in
think it's 1
Cavite
hour
because
drive, no,
Cavite is
Don?
big.
Yeah, ano sir, Emus.
Imus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's just okay.
Mm,
Because I lived in Baco or
mm.
Paliparan.
Yeah, Paliparan is
Paliparan.
near me.
Paliparan before. Yeah, yeah. So he's close. That
Yeah.
would be early morning. You drive well. You could get to Batangas where I'm at
Mm,
in about say 2 hours if you're a
mm,
good
yeah.
driver and no traffic.
No.
Pwede man.
Pwede
Pwede
naman.
naman.
Pwedeng pwede.
Sama na din ako. Doon ako sa lap ni Don. I can sit on your lap, Don.
CRM.
Were you did you ask me a question about hours?
Yeah.
Hours?
Sir.
How
It's
many
Ina who asked
Yeah,
about your
yeah.
hours.
Oh, how
Yeah.
many hours before?
What's
Oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Sure,
uh,
sure.
But how
so I
many
have a
hours have you logged, sir, in total
yeah,
as
that's
of
my
now?
question also.
He's not counting because it
Let
doesn't matter.
No,
Is it
I do log. I log my
He
hours
loves it.
actually.
yeah.
I really log them meticulously. I'm over 1,200 plus
Oh,
hours a week.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, over 1,200. So
1,200
wow.
hours.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I have a question, sir. Another question.
Sure,
So,
sure,
what's
sure.
Keep
your
going.
what's your advice to like maybe the someone who will watch this video? What is your advice to those who are interested in doing what you do? Like what they should be prepared for, or what are they
So
will
they
should
expect
be
yeah.
willing to sacrifice to do
Yeah.
what you're doing?
Well, first and foremost, what I'd say to individual is being a missionary pilot is mainly it's about the helping people and it's not
People.
about you. So you're
Mm,
like the least part of it.
mm,
It's gonna naturally be a Christian environment where maybe it's connected to a church, like in my
mm,
case, so you have to be comfortable in that kind of environment. People are praying and worshiping, talking about God all the time. And then it might be an environment that will definitely challenge you in some areas where the planes might not have the fanciness like the
mm,
airline where people can put millions into making an airplane really nice. The planes might be a little bit more rough, and so it's just a matter of you being grateful. Because when I used to be in that 172 that is so slow and the instrument is a steam gauge, it's so basic, just knowing that I'm here because of this
mm,
patient and the watcher made the world of difference for me. And
Mhm.
so being a missionary pilot starts with humility. It starts
Okay,
with
mm,
humility.
humility. You really have to forget about your personal comfort zone and think about the person you're helping. For example, sometimes it's a one-man army. I'm filing the flight plan, I'm assisting the patients,
mm,
I'm fueling up the airplane. There's times I'm in Tuguegarao City, the hottest part of the Philippines, at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, putting bottles of fuel in the tank so that I can help somebody or get home. It's dirty work. if you've seen any of my vlogs, I'm not in
Yeah.
pilot
Mm.
Uniform.
uniform with bars on my shoulder. And actually, on average, I remove this shirt once I'm done with the mission. This shirt
Mm.
is off, and I'm just in a plain white shirt. You pass
Mm.
me on the tarmac, you would not think, "Oh, is that guy the pilot?"
He's the
I'm
pilot.
like,
Yeah.
And
Mm.
so, if someone is interested in becoming a missionary pilot, it starts with forgetting about self
Mm.
and signing up to dedicate your life to
Mm.
the
Helping
care
others.
of others. That might be you won't get to go home, you have to be in some cheap hotel somewhere.
Mm.
No one is gonna pick you up in a nice vehicle like what they do for the pilots for Cebu Pacific and
Mm.
PAL. You have to find a tricycle. I've
Mm.
been on tricycle where
Mm.
the tricycle breaks down and I have to walk the rest of the journey to get to a hotel. And so
Mm.
when I think about the harsh reality of what happens beyond the nice cockpit view and pilot
Mm.
logbook and stuff, it's dirty work.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're in that airplane, and I've had adults poop 30 minutes before landing in a Cessna
Mm.
182, no aircon, and it's so smelly.
Mm.
And I have to remember the guy is sick,
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
diaper. When I pick up accident case, you can smell the blood, you smell the wound. They haven't showered, so they're smelly. I've had to deal with pregnant moms who puke themselves,
Mm.
vomit all over. And after I help them out with the stuff messing you up, sometimes I'm busy helping. I finish, I look, there's blood on my pants, on my shirt, it's
Shirt.
stained. And I just have to remember I'm a missionary pilot.
Mm.
This is a calling where it's always about others and not about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I have to be in a cheap hotel, sometimes some of these hotels are not safe. Middle of the night, someone trying to open the door. I'm like, Lord, what am I doing here? And I have to remember, I'm here because you help somebody. They are in a better place for health care. So forget your comfort. Be happy that someone else is who was dying is now getting the care that they need. So you really want to surrender yourself, be willing to serve at every level and whatever
Mm.
sacrifice you have to put into that. And at the end of the day, you're not being paid for it. So what's your motivation?
Mm.
Service to others.
There.
The smile on their face when they arrive and Cap, thank you so much, Cap. They
Yeah.
comment on my stuff. Cap, here's my mom in the hospital. Thank you so much. That cannot put any monetary value to it.
Yeah. That's
That's my
priceless.
paycheck. It's priceless. So that's what I'd share. Humility, remembering this calling is the Lord has to call you to it. It's not the most glamorous. It's smelly.
Mm.
I had a cadaver college student picked her up. They have a concept because they're Muslim, so they don't believe in embalmment. She
Mm.
went beyond the 24 hours, and when they brought her, there's so much langow.
Mm.
And then when they picked her off the stretcher, you can see the liquid
Mm.
stain. When they put her in the airplane, I remember I was at the door and I went,
Mm.
and when I breathed, she was, and I just asked, and the family is
Yeah.
there, they're
Mm.
mourning. So I cannot
Mm.
go, "Ay, mabaho." I
Mm.
Yeah.
cannot do
Yeah.
that. I'm
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
sensitive. So I had to breathe that
Mm.
odor and just kind of budget my breath, no reaction whatsoever of my
Mm.
discomfort. And then I just asked the coroners, Kuya, does anyone have a mask, an extra
Mm.
mask? They gave me two. I put it on. I jump in the airplane. And while flying, that thing smelled for 2 hours. And I
Mm.
had to budget my breathing just
Mm.
while still flying the airplane and remembering my job. And so it's a calling that takes you away from your comfort zone. It's not
Yeah.
glamorous, but the service to others is
Yeah.
enough to mellow everything out.
Any more
So,
done?
uh, sir, would you like to like promote something or anything?
Yeah.
I posted your website. I posted your website. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So I mean, I'm a vlogger. I'm an
Yeah.
influencer, so I'm always looking to have more followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, my stuff blew up. Like
Mm.
within a week now, I've gotten about 7,000 new followers.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for that. Two of my videos that reached, one was 1.5 million views.
Wow.
It's a
Wow. Congrats,
pregnant,
sir.
yeah,
Congrats.
yeah.
Mm.
It's a pregnant lady coming out of the
Mm.
airplane, and the police was like, and 1.5 million. And then another one just hit over 2
Mm.
million. It's the young man who died. I did a condolence video for the family, put it to a 2 minute 14 second. It just hit
Mm.
2 million, and a lot of people been subscribing from that. So I'm happy that I went viral doing the service. It's not me at a
Yeah.
hotel or
Mm.
a
Yeah.
nice landing. It's
Mm.
what I do to
Yeah.
help people. And so I'm happy for that. So if you ever want to follow these missions, you go to any of the social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The name is Flying by Faith. Check that out. I have my website, flyingbyfaith.org. You can always follow me, shoot me a message if you want to. I'm gonna be launching some merch,
Mm.
and it's
Hey.
not to make money.
Yeah.
It will be a giveaway. So it's only for Filipinos. I just talked with an embroidery place in Manila who is willing to make some merch for me. The logo of Flying by Faith will be embroidered on the front and on the back.
Mm.
And so I'm gonna give away those when people make a certain donation to the ministry. The proceeds will be going towards my rice ministry and feeding families
Mm.
around my community and stuff. I just drive through and I see random people. Like if I see a guy with a tricycle and he has used metal and stuff, that's a guy that's gonna get a sack of rice.
Mm.
And I prank them because I will honk the horn, pull over. And so they're like, man, what did
Can we join? Can we join?
I stress him, pull over, kuya, atras, and then I come out, I
Uh-huh.
go to the back of my vehicle, I open the door, and I bring a sack of rice. And he's like, and
Can we join you?
so
Can we join you for this?
Do that mission.
yeah. I get a sack of rice for a little over 1,000 pesos up in
Mm.
Dasma. And the average family I give a half sack to, they said it will last them about 2 weeks. So I decided to start having some merch. When people
Mm.
donate a certain amount, I don't know what that's gonna look like. It depends how much
Mm.
it costs to put the shirt together. I'm planning to give that as a complimentary gift to those who
Mhm.
donate to help
Mm.
feed local Filipino family who
Filipinos.
have a hard time putting food on their table. And so
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. I have the samples. I just got stuff from my wife that she picked up the first set of samples. I'm gonna be wearing those and
Yeah.
Mm.
doing my vlogs in it. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Mm.
Yeah.
The front part says "Flying by Faith,"
By faith. Yep.
touching hearts with each mission, and then the website is at the back. I have T-shirt and polo shirt. And
Mm.
again, I'm not selling merch. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
actually giving it away to people who say, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Here is a couple pesos, whatever." And if
Mm.
it's enough to cover the shipping and the making and printing of the shirt,
Mm.
then
Yeah.
they'll have that. And I make sure it's embroidery, so it's not the printed one where
Printed.
after
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
washing
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
put on
That's
Mm.
good.
already.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
embroidery, so it's long term
Mm.
and stuff. So that's
Mhm.
that's the only thing. If anyone wants to reach out to me, believe it or not, some requests come through my Facebook. I share story and people go, "Cap, I'm from Leyte and I have
Mm.
my grandmother who wants to go to Manila and the airlines won't allow. Can you
Mm.
help?" Sometimes people, "Oh, there's this family want to go home. Can you help?" And so we encourage people to just follow a partner, and you just never know. If I come to your area,
Mm.
And track. Actually, you can. I go live when I'm taking off out of base. I go live, and I do that. The internet, my data, smart. Shout out to smart.
Shout out.
Yeah, smart data. It will.
Smart, baka naman.
Yes, smart data on my phone keeps my live from the
Mm.
ground to at least 3,500, 10 miles south of
Mm.
base. I still have data rolling. So
Wow.
Mm.
if you follow my page and I'm doing a mission, you'll get to fly with me live for a little bit.
Mm.
And you can also track me. I have a tracker there. I have a page for that. So you can track me live whenever I'm flying missions and text me on it. I'm flying along. I can text you back and stuff. So
Mm.
my social media world is a place where I aim to inspire people and I aim to continue what I'm doing for the Filipino people as well.
Mm.
I appreciate you guys. I just want to say thanks for inviting me to this platform. I really enjoy this interview.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
We are
you.
too,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
You, sir. I hope we can
There's
have.
an airport
Thank you,
I want to
sir.
go to, so I'll communicate with you guys. I think it's an area. It's north of Sangli on the west side. What's it called?
West side.
Yeah. So when you go north of Sangli, go to your left there on the west
Spratleys?
side.
Spratleys?
I forgot the name, but anyway, I want to go up there. There's a bunch of students that go there for cross country, especially those who are in Lubang. That's where they will go for cross country. It's non-towered, I think. Anyway,
Mm.
Lingayen ng tawag.
yeah, I wanna go check that out and see if I could open up options there. By the way, just for you guys' info, if you're really motivated, there are areas that I haven't done
Yeah.
a courtesy call yet. You never know.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to ask you. If there are like other places that needs your service or
Yes,
your
yes, there are
yeah.
places I haven't gone to yet to introduce myself. So
Yeah.
whenever I do those, if people are close enough to me and I get to know them and the vibe is right and they're safe, I take them along for that courtesy flight. I'm just going there to hand out my contact info, tell them a little about myself. We roam around the island a little
Mm.
bit to get to know the doctor, the mayor, and da 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 da. And that's always a trip that,
Mm.
people like yourself who want to be inspired and see my world
Mm.
a little bit can always tag along. The last time
Mm.
I did one, my videographer with two other guys tag along with me. My one of
Mm.
them was my neighbor. He's really
Mm.
nice. He's never been on a plane before. I said, Kuya, you wanna go today? He's like, today? Yeah, sige.
Ngayon
So
agad.
I took him there, and I do that for relatives too. Like sometimes
Mm.
the watcher is like the son, he's young, he has his phone, he's in the co-pilot seat, and I will say, hey, you wanna fly? And I mean it really massaged them. Like for
Mm.
that moment when he's on the yoke,
Yeah.
he doesn't remember his parents is sick and dying and that he's
Mm.
just
Yeah.
he's just into that moment, and I'll take their phone and just take a
Take a
photo
picture.
Yeah.
of him because I'm like, you never know where life is gonna take him. He
Yeah.
might cherish that for the rest of his life
Yeah.
to say, you know what, there was this mission pilot who gave me the yoke for a bit
Mm.
Yeah.
to feel it.
Yeah.
So I'm just open to share with people. Everything I have, I'm willing to give back as much as I can.
We are very touched with your story, sir. You have a
So
very.
Yeah.
much
Oh,
stories
I
to
think you. I
share.
still have. You still have more stories, sir.
oh
I
yeah, I
think.
mean,
Yeah.
it never ends. Like the
Yeah. Yeah.
flying and the
Yeah.
weather, and so I mean, it's just so much. Being in the
Yeah.
States, not
Yeah.
having work, have to survive. It never ends. If you want part two, let me know.
Yeah. We're
Maybe we
definitely
can we
gonna
can talk
have.
your experiences in. You went to Russia, right? You said a while ago, Russia, ba?
No, I've never
Canada.
been. to Russia.
What was your what
Oh,
languages do you
I've
know?
learned Russian, German,
You've learned
Polish,
Russian.
Filipino, like all the different dialects here.
Uh,
Chinese, Japanese, a little Taiwan stuff, French. I mean, because in Canada it's so mixed, and
you
that's
learned
where
it
I
in
learned how to
Canada.
pick up on language. It's
Mm.
an icebreaker. Like you see, when I came in here
Yeah.
and I did the little Tagalog and Bisaya, you guys just light up, right?
Yeah.
It works. It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do it in the
Definitely.
Philippines all the time. They look at me, they're chismosa,
Mm.
you know, they're doing the little
Chismosa.
marites.
The
Yeah.
And
Marites.
I will walk up to the lady and I pass by really close and I go, ooh, ano hanap mo?
Chismosa ka.
So it's nice, you know. And
Yeah.
Jamaicans are like that actually. We're friendly. When foreigners
Mm.
come to Jamaica, we're like, whitey wop man, foreigner,
Yeah,
you know.
man. Yeah, man.
So yeah, so when I came here and I see Phil, hey Joe, hey bro, I'm like, this guy's Jamaican. It's the island vibes. It's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
island vibes. You know, North Americans are different. You're in New
Yeah.
York, they don't even look at each other in the train. They're just like
Mm. Very
they don't
serious.
see. You
Mm.
could fall, faint, die. They're
Mm.
just like
Yeah.
boom.
Mm.
But in the islands, we always have the sun, so everything is like Irie man. And I see that in Filipinos. Same vibes.
All right, sir. Thank you so much yet again. All right, we've actually been live for an hour and 50.
Yeah.
We were only
For
expecting
almost
what,
2
an hour
hours.
30?
Nice. How are your
Yeah.
views? Am
Oh
I making
man.
you guys popular
Eight
yet?
8,000. 8,000 viewers.
8,000.
You have
But yeah.
8,000
No,
views?
No,
no,
no.
no, 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 just
Just
kidding.
eight. Just eight.
I'm
But
like,
yeah.
sana all.
But yeah. Again, sir, thank
Nah, it's
you.
okay.
Hopefully
I've
part
learned.
2.
One of my friend taught me because when I used to make content, the views are like so low and stuff, but
Mm.
it would get to the right people at the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I've had some atheists who say, you know, I'm not religious, I don't believe in God, but I've been watching you.
Mm.
And some people, some atheists even tell me they will comment it publicly with their name and everything. They're like, I'm
Mm.
atheist, I don't believe in God, but this kid prays and God works, and I guess prayer works, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so some
Truly
of them
works.
will tell me things like, yeah, they will say, you know, if your religion is religion, then I would want to be a part of that because you're helping people and doing an amazing work. So you never know where your
Yeah.
content is gonna be.
Yeah, but that's what we tell each other. Just as long as we are happy with
We
what we
do.
are
We're
doing,
doing, yeah.
Yeah.
we will
And I'm
continue
sure it
doing
will
the.
reach the right
It
audience.
Yeah.
will.
For
It
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
It will. I had
Mm-hmm.
a when I was looking for school in the States, I found a guy's content about how to test if your flight school is actually robbing you money.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
listened to that. Guy wasn't so
Mm.
popular. I listened to all his tips and I was like, oh man. So when I went to flight school, I was asking
Uh,
those questions, you know.
yeah.
So I tell people just make content,
Mm.
enjoy doing it,
Yeah.
and the right people will stumble up on your content
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it will help them a lot, you know. So where are you guys? Oh yeah, I should ask you guys question. Where are you guys headed with aviation? Like where you are now and where are you trying to be?
Um,
You
Me,
first, Don.
I'm currently in the flight instructor course phase.
Ay, sana all.
Sana all. Flight instructor.
Free to
That's the
talk.
reason why we started this page, because
Ah,
we are trying to train ourselves how to teach and share our knowledge and our stories to other people.
okay.
Yeah.
And because before this page we are trying to teach each other, like playing simulators.
Mhm.
So we realized that we should record it so we
Mhm.
can like review it
Yeah. We can
later
look back.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
So the time that we record it, we then realized that why not
Share it with others.
share it with
Yeah.
Yeah,
others, to
create a
put it in
community.
to
Mhm.
build a community, to help others, and yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. So
Nice.
Not just only
So
simulators,
all
but
you guys,
also
you said,
just
are
life
at that
stories.
commercial
oh yeah,
stage.
life stories also.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
While
Learning from
doing
each
while
other's
doing the simulator.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So in
Mhm.
the event you guys plan to make a trip, do you like all of you here now in this live would come together the same time or maybe one or two?
Well,
What do you
Again,
I
sir?
mean,
I
Again?
sir?
What do
think
you mean,
as
sir?
Now I'm saying if in the event that you're gonna come and visit, will you all come
Oh,
visit the same time?
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully
yes,
together, yeah.
yes.
yeah,
Hopefully,
together.
if we
Yeah.
Yeah.
can have some coffee in your free time.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right,
But
sounds
yeah, as
good.
best as we
Sounds
can,
good.
and
all four.
you,
Yeah.
you can continue your stories, sir.
Okay. No, I mean
Yeah.
it would
We
be
love
nice.
hearing your stories, because
Mhm.
for on our stage we have like minimal stories, and with our flight schools we don't have
Yeah.
stories like you do.
Yeah.
So we love hearing your stories.
So it's really
You
inspiring for us to hear
Mm.
your stories
Yeah.
nice.
today.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
praise the Lord for that. I'm humbled
Yeah,
to
Praise
hear
the
yeah.
Lord.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I value them now. Now I know why I went through all that
Yeah.
Yes,
craziness.
Yeah.
sir.
It's to
Everything
inspire.
happens for a
I
reason.
came to that conclusion recently. I said now I can relate to people because
Mm-mm.
if I showed up where my
Mm-mm.
dad was a pilot, my
Yeah.
grandfather was a
Yeah.
pilot, and
Yeah.
now I'm a pilot, it would be like, ah, yeah, no big deal, right?
Mm-mm.
But knowing that nobody in my family ever did anything like this, even traveled the world and whatnot to some degree, it just adds to the story, and that's
Mhm.
why I don't I always like to share where I'm coming from
Mm.
more
Yeah.
Mhm.
than where I am today
Yeah.
because that's
Mhm.
kind of what makes the story more
Mm-mm.
like whoa, So some kid who is in Quezon City in a bad place or Davao or something, they find this feed and go, oh,
Mm-mm.
so this is not it. There can be
Mm-mm.
there can there's opportunity
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
I
chance.
so I interviewed a guy on my channel JB
Mhm.
Rio. He's from PNG. He got his CPL here in the Philippines. And I was just curious about this guy. So I wanted to get his story. So I brought him on my channel. I interviewed him a couple years ago. And it's interesting. His story started out where he's in PNG as a black kid, no, just watching all these white guys come out of the airplane in Papua New Guinea. And he said one day he's at the fence line where the plane
Mm-mm.
lands. He's looking at the plane land one day and he
Mm-mm.
saw a black pilot came out of the airplane and he goes, you know what?
Mm.
Oh, what? A black guy? He's like, you know what? I can be a
Yeah.
pilot.
Mm.
If a black guy can do it, I can.
Mm.
And that's Jay Burial's story. He got his
Mm.
CPL. He did mission aviation here in the Philippines. Built a couple hundred hours, maybe like 600 or so
Mm.
hours flying the same 172 I flew. He was my safety pilot at one point.
Wow.
Now he
Mm.
is in Papua New Guinea, right back at his home country, flying the Twin Otter airplane.
Wow.
Mm.
At
Oh,
first, he was on the Pac 750,
Yeah.
and you see that guy fly a Twin Otter, you'll be like, oh, Sana, oh, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
He was a black kid,
uh,
and he said, if a black guy
no.
can fly an airplane, I'm black, man, I could do it. And he came to the Philippines, got his CPL and IR,
Started with a
Yeah.
dream.
back home. You
Yeah.
never know. You
Mm.
you
never
never
know
know.
what these little content
Mm.
can do for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys. You
Sure.
guys you guys actually you guys do look like the humble because I've seen some student pilots in this country and some of
Mm.
them grabe talaga. They're so mayabang.
That's also our goal, sir, to be like we want to build a community where every pilots, every mechanics, and all persons in the aviation industry will become friends. Not like when you see other pilots like you think that I'm better with this guy,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're like what you call this? Changing the or improving, or
Mm,
like aiming to improve the community
I
in that
like that.
aspect.
I like that because I've seen some,
Mm.
and they're
Yeah.
not the humblest guys. Sometimes they kind of walk around like, "Do you want us to go like
Yeah,
that?"
yeah, yeah. We know some.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah, we know what you
okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad
mean.
you guys
You
agree. I
understand.
thought it was just
Yeah,
in
We
my
know
yeah.
what you
head.
mean.
That's why every chance I get, I will strip down of this and
Mm.
just
Mm-hmm.
be a regular guy in a polo
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look the pilot. No, but actually, I got in trouble. I should tell you
Mm.
guys that. Yeah, I was into Gigarao and
Mm-hmm.
it's hot and I have to
Mm.
refuel and do all kind of stuff. So I removed the Palmer shirt. I just have
Mm.
the white shirt and I went to the tower to file a flight plan. So I got to the security and he was not there. So I'm gonna open the door, go upstairs. Cop. No, no, actually no. He said, hey, sir. Where are you going? So I said, I'm gonna file a flight plan. He's like,
Mm.
do you have a pass, like a
Mm.
permit or something? So I said,
Is it-
sir, seryoso ako. Then he's like, oh, sorry, cop. So then I was like, why did he? Then
Uh,
I took a selfie. I was
mm.
just wearing a
Mm.
black pants, sneakers, and a
Uh,
simple white shirt. No bars, no
Mm-hmm.
mm.
little
Yeah.
thing,
You wouldn't know.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so I like that. I just
Mm.
like to blend in with the
Yeah.
crowd
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and then nobody knows what I do. And I'm in
Mm.
certain
Mm.
situation. I have had people I talk to for a long period of time, and then someone
Mm.
else tell them that, oh, and I'm like,
Mm.
no,
Mm.
people will ask
Don't
me,
tell
what do
them.
you
Don't
do?
tell
I
them.
said, like when I go to do certain business transaction and they ask me what I do, I'll say, I will tell you after we're done with the transaction.
Mm-hmm,
Because maybe the price will go up,
The extras. Yeah.
So, but I want to commend you guys for trying to be on the more humble
Yeah,
side
sure.
Yeah.
as
mm-hmm.
pilots aspiring
Thank you,
into the
sir.
airline. So that will take you a far way. And I feel like personally, that's one of the things I always tell myself. Stay humble, because in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, if you guys read your Bible, it says, he that humbleth himself shall be exalted, but if you
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
exalt yourself, you shall be, damned or
Humbled.
stoned.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I think all throughout my journey, especially on social media, I spend more time talking about my donors, the
Mm.
people who pray for me, and the recipients than I talk
Yeah.
about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not, my content should not be featuring me. I don't feature hotel. I don't feature milk tea and look at the, like, even the one about what's in your bag.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it. Like it's like, it's
Rice.
just
What's in your bag? I have 1 kilo of rice.
That's it.
I because it's just my way of saying I don't want to pull attention to
Yeah.
myself,
Understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm not
More on
careful,
what
it
we
can
do.
get to the head and self
Mm.
and pride takes over. So I'm always more like, I tell, like, if you see some of my posts, I'll say things like, the people, they see me, they see the airplane, but little do they know it's really the
Yeah. That makes
donors
sense.
Mm. Yeah.
who
Mm-hmm.
make all
Yeah.
this possible. Like, I don't have money to pay for an airplane. I cannot maintain it. I don't have a job. So when I'm out there and I get a mission done, I come back. I said, guys, this is what we
Yeah.
Mm.
accomplished today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my
Mm-hmm.
followers, I make them a part of it. Like, I don't exclude people. So I say, you track, you react, you
Mm.
share, you help my demographics.
Mm.
You are a part of the community because you might share it, you don't have money, but you share the link, right? And then some friend
Mm.
of yours way down in your friend list have 1,000 pesos, they give it.
Mm.
Well, they would not have given the 1,000 if you didn't
Mm.
share.
Yeah.
So I always try to let everyone in my social media following know that this, when a pregnant lady is helped, it's
Mm.
all of us coming together
Yeah.
Together. Yeah.
to make this mission. I'm
It's all
just
of us helping.
exactly, exactly. And even you guys, just putting me on
Yeah.
your
Mm-mm.
platform. More of your followers get to hear about Mission Aviation. You're now featuring me. People come follow. So I appreciate you guys for doing that.
Yeah, we appreciate you too,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank you
bro.
you.
for very much for this
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
it's a blessing. And I look forward to meeting you
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Come
Yeah,
on
soon,
Soon.
sir.
over.
Yes,
Yeah,
And
sir. Even if you have free time, we can drop by.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
let
definitely.
us
We'll
know.
we'll make it work. You guys made an impression on me, and I appreciate that. And friendship
Yes,
for life,
sir.
man.
Friendship
Yes.
for
Friendship for
life.
life.
We
I
are very
like the
honored,
lady
sir. We
up,
are
you know.
very
It
honored.
keeps
Yeah.
me young.
All I can say is, sir, sana all.
Sana
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 all.
all.
yun. It's a blessing. It's a
Honestly,
blessing.
we are very nervous before this episode
This
because
episode.
yes, because we are talking me and JP. We're not like very confident in speaking in English.
Ay, sus.
That's why
No, not me.
we
I'm
not me.
confident.
Confident with a heart.
Seriously, sir, if
Teka,
this
teka.
topic is in Tagalog, me and Don are very, very talkative. But right now,
Very
we're like,
reserved.
okay.
We're
Like
just
10%
listening.
We're
only.
like,
10% capability.
Well,
Dak-
let me put a disclaimer for those who are not pilot. Guys, they're joking, huh? Because one of the requirements to have a license, you must speak, read, and understand
ELP.
Yeah,
English.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's our concern because I told JP maybe after this episode our ELP will be downgraded to level 3.
Because currently we're in level 5.
Downgrade.
Went
No,
up
you
to
guys,
Hey,
you
our
that
guys did
people
a
is
level.
good
watching
job.
and maybe that, oh, why is it that guy in level 5? Let's put them in
Level
level
3.
3.
Level 3.
Actually, I capture some of those stuff. Like there's times like when I pass the student pilot training area, going up north, man, these guys chica chica,
In
and
the
they
Unicom.
do the Tagalog. There's times they sing, they do the meow,
Oh
and
yeah.
ay nako po
Meow.
naman, nakakainis talaga.
Yeah. So annoying. That's why you're not flying in the west.
That's
In the
why
west.
I go east. Yeah, ayaw ka
Yeah.
ng west because I was a student pilot in the west before
Uh,
Lingayen. We go to Cabanatuan VOR to practice the IR
yeah,
maneuver, you know.
Fort
So I
Magsaysay.
know, I tell my boss, my director, he likes that route.
Mm.
But for me, I don't like because I
It's
see
way
too
too
many
noisy.
student pilot. The frequency I get no, I mean the radio calls no, it's mostly Lubang.
Mm.
Lubang.
Yes,
So
Oh.
I
you're not
hear a
tuning
lot
in
of
the
Lubang.
Unicom.
Huh?
You're not tuning in the Unicom,
I
or
do 1 to
yeah.
1.9.
Ah,
Yeah,
but
It's
even
just
if
you
I'm
too
don't hear
talking
far.
to
the
Manila.
it's
Yeah.
too far. Mm.
No, I hear San Fernando a little bit.
Mm.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
do, I do, and then when I go north, but occasionally it comes through. But here in Batangas, once I'm like going Palawan or something, it's mostly Lubang,
Yeah.
Lubang,
Mm-mm.
Lubang. They're in the pattern. Like sometimes the radio call is like the guy will say he is 700 feet
Mm.
climbing to 800, and I'm like, bro, just
Just
get to
Climb.
Just
800.
climb.
Sometimes I'm like, just go 100 feet more, and then just say,
You're at
hey,
800.
sometimes late downwind, we'll extend this, simulate
Uh,
engine. It's so detailed. Like,
Mm.
coming from the States, they would say that all that stuff is unnecessary
yeah.
radio
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
calls.
yeah,
Make it
yeah.
What?
simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So but
Simple and
guess
fast.
what though?
Yeah.
Over the water, hearing those guys on frequency it keeps me company.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm.
keeps me company. So I don't turn it
Mm.
down. I listen to it.
Mm.
I laugh. There's times they do the little marites and carry on, and I'm making joke, you know. So I enjoy it because there's times, especially when I'm dealing with weather, I cannot see
Mm.
outside, hearing radio calls, and I'm alone. It's like there's
Keeps you
somebody
going.
talking, and I have
Yeah.
company.
Mm.
So I always monitor 1 to 1.9.
Yeah,
Even
it's like
from
you always hear the traffic advisory, RPC.
Yes, yes, lubang,
Any
lubang.
The
traffic
And
news
meow.
actually,
advice?
I've
Meow.
made friends. I've made friends over the radio. Yeah,
Mm.
there's one
Yeah.
guy, RPC 818. It's Baron, I think. He flies Lubang, Sangli, and we
Sangli
make
too.
friends. Cap, I'm the one on the radio. There's guy from Air Swift. Cap, it's me. And some of them we've never met,
Mm.
Met.
but they found my social media. Cap, I'm the RPC. Da, da, da,
Mm.
So it becomes a little social
Yeah.
world as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
landed Lubang, Cap, I'm the one, and they want to take a picture, and I follow your vlog and stuff. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good community, and that's one of my thing too. I don't want to make a student pilot feel like I've arrived and he's down here and
Mm.
I'm up here.
Yeah.
When I see student pilot, I'm like, I've been a student pilot.
Mm.
I know the feeling, so I always want them to feel comfortable and stuff
Yeah.
around me. You know.
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
also our goal because none of us has we are first generation pilots, so
Yeah, all of us are
Yeah.
first
we
generation
want
pilots.
for those who like doesn't have anyone to ask, we always say that we you can
They can ask.
Yeah.
they can ask us.
Yeah, for our
Mm.
Yeah.
help.
Any
Yeah.
question?
Nice. Yeah, I get that quite a bit. People will ask me for sponsorship if there's anything I can do with my page, and
Mm.
I always reply to them. I said, I don't have money, but
Mm.
I'll be praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's some student pilot who reach out to me on TikTok. Cap, I'm struggling with crosswind landing. What can I
Mm.
do? Or Cap, navlog, or they'll say
Mm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, well, I don't want to confuse you, so you kind of want to stick to your school and your CFI,
Mm.
just to be safe. But if you want certain general tips, then I can make a
Mm.
video and reach out to you, and I will talk. There's one guy from Bacolod. He's been following me a long time now. Sometimes his question, I'll answer him in a vlog
Mm.
and then
Mm.
tag him on it in TikTok. Oh, Cap, this is so helpful. Thank you. So I like what you guys are doing in giving back to the community at this point during your training. It's
Mm.
very helpful and humbling to see
Thank you,
guys
Thank you,
sir.
like
sir.
yourself. So keep doing that.
I
And
hope and we hope that we can fly
Yeah.
together soon
Yeah,
yeah,
someday.
Someday.
yeah, we'll
Mm-hmm.
we we we
and to
we'll
do
see.
some missionary works and
We
to
can
help
do
also other people
yeah.
like you do.
Yeah. The only thing though is it's what four of you guys, so someone will be
Mm.
left
I will
behind
just
to.
do Sir Devin the bato topic.
But
We will
anyway, who
just
gets to
fly
ride?
bato topic.
Someone will have to stay on the
They
ground to
can-
get the outside content.
Hold on, let's do the bato topic. We will fly with Captain.
Kasi four
Yeah.
seater yun eh.
Um,
So sayang naman the
It's
driver
yeah.
won't have a
uh,
seat naman.
JP,
yeah.
sit on the wings.
No, but it will
Yes,
be
sir.
good. I appreciate you guys, and it's a
Thank you so
blessing.
much.
A
Thank you
blessing.
so much, sir.
No problem.
Oh,
Any other
Lawrence, do you have
questions?
Yeah. No more, sir.
Uh,
You really talk a lot, and many people. I mean, especially those who are watching and about to watch it later,
Yeah.
will definitely will be inspired by
Yes.
Yes, sir.
your yeah.
and also we hope that this episode can get more like donations for you because we got heartbroken when we saw your vlog that
Yeah, the vlog.
like this guy was asking you if what do you do when you don't have enough funding, and
Oh,
you said that you sometimes give your personal like money
mhm.
just to have the flight completed,
Yeah.
but when you don't have the money, like the flight won't be
Won't be done.
what you call
Yeah,
this,
won't be
Possible.
possible.
yeah, won't be possible. So we got heartbroken. So we are hoping that this episode,
Generate
yeah,
more
yeah,
funds.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can help more
Yeah.
people.
yeah.
Sure. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I
And
appreciate that. it takes a lot. Airplanes are not
Yeah.
cheap, man, and so
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
funding for it is always an area that we are vulnerable and always need help with. And so I appreciate you guys with your
Yeah.
platform. I have a pilot friend who was very interesting where I just met her on the ramp, regular pilot, just pilot to pilot. Hey, cop, picture, shout out, da, da, da.
Mm.
And next thing you know, I was getting 1,000 pesos on my Gcash weekly. And I was like, all right. And I mean, we became friends for a
Mm.
long time. We're still friends up to this day. And the other day I was asking her, I said, hey, so what's the story behind why you were willing to give like that?
Mm.
And she said, well, Cap, I am so inspired by what you do, and I just wanted to help out. And I said, yeah, that 1,000 was being used all the time to help with
Mm.
rice to feed Filipino. And I shared it with her. I said, hey, this week, I'm able to help a family eat rice for 2 weeks
Yeah.
thanks to
Mm.
your donation. And so for those who are following and they might be thinking, oh, but I'm not rich, I don't have a lot of money. I have learned in my experience where sometimes 50 pesos, 100
Mm.
pesos, I have been able to bless people with so little money. Sometimes I'm driving around and I see people who are hungry and I just buy them a meal.
Mm.
It can be a little simple meal. And in that moment, this kid from the streets eating a one-piece rice ulam and drink for less than 150 pesos, having something in their stomach in that moment, it's like today someone
Yeah.
cared,
Mm.
and it inspired them, it encouraged them to know not every day everyone is like, "Uy, bastos, uy na,"
Mm. Mm.
So you just never know how a small. So
Mm.
if anyone is open to give, don't think you need to have a lot
Mm.
of money.
Yeah.
I've been in this country long enough. I've
Mm.
used 50 pesos to make somebody's day.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Couple tips. There's when I go into these big establishment and you see the janitor, the people who clean the
Mm.
bathroom. Oh man, 100 pesos.
Mm.
Ate, thank you so much. You clean the
Mm.
CR. I
Mm-mm,
appreciate you.
mm-mm,
Here's something. And they don't forget that. Why?
Mm.
Yeah.
Everyone just go CR mona, go. I'm busy. Da, da, da.
Mm.
But just to stop and see that person and say,
Mm.
hey, ate, merienda, ha? And you
Mm.
you split that
Mm.
little.
Mm.
So whatever people give me, I know where to go to make that little donation make a
Mm.
world of difference, as if you had given
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
something.
yeah.
It's the thought
Because
that
you'll
counts.
never know. It might just be a small thing for you, but for the other person, it's already a big thing
It's a
Yeah.
that
big deal.
Yeah.
Yes,
appreciate.
exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to inspire people as well is you don't have to give to me to do it for
Mm.
you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ikaw
Mm.
mo na, do it
Mm.
Yeah,
yourself,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
I have some friends, one of the things they do is every time they go grocery shopping, they pick up a few extra stuff and compile it, and then when it's together, they just give it a sardinas, a noodle, a
Mm-hmm.
coffee, a this, a that, and then they just say, hey, here you go.
Mm.
They just share it with people.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be
Yeah.
rich,
Yeah.
you just give it. If you guys read the Bible, the widow lady, she had her mite. It was like centavos, very
Mm-hmm.
little. And Jesus said she gave the most because she gave her all. He's
Mm.
like, the
Yeah.
rich, they
Mm.
gave from their extra, the
Mm. Yeah.
surplus.
Yeah.
That's
Extra.
why
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can give. But she's like, no, this lady had just a small
Mm. But she
amount.
gave
Everything
everything.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was in Banawe Street getting parts for my friend's truck.
Mm.
And the weirdest thing happened to me, guys. I was buying mineral water from the guy who pushed the cart.
Mm.
And this guy out of nowhere just came across the road and he gave me a fist bump. Pare, kaibigan,
Huh.
fist bump. And first time we're seeing each other.
Mm.
He reached for the bag of boiled peanut, which is about 12 pesos. He pulled on it and he held it. He's like, Pare, you buy this one for me, you pay. I was getting my change, right? He said, Pare, you buy it. So I said, sige, sige, And I paid for the peanut for
Mm.
him. He grabbed it. He's like, ay, salamat, pare, kaibigan. And fist bump again. He went
Mm.
across the road. He jumped on a little tricycle thingy.
Mm.
He's actually selling show pow.
Siya.
He's selling show power. He's riding past Banawe Street,
Mm.
busy. Saw this black foreigner across the road buying water, getting his change, intersected just right, grabbed 10 pesos of boiled peanuts, face bump, walked up, and I go, do I have like kindness written on my so sometimes it's in the market where I buy fruits from fruit vendors, and then they say, sir, first time we're meeting each other, sir, um, sir, we're hungry. We're
Mm.
hungry, sir. I said, okay, anong gusto mo, Jollibee or McDo? And I said,
Social,
Jollibee,
social.
okay, anong order mo,
Ah.
And believe it or not, guys, I take their order, I buy from them, I go in the vehicle, I drove to the nearest Jollibee or McDo, go through the drive-through, make an order, go back to the palenque, and say, eto po, my delivery na. And I mean, honestly, these people never forget me. I had one guy, apparently he thinks it's a boy, but he feels like he's a girl. So he cross-dressed, lipstick, and the ones who have the hot pad, the pack that you do the punas like jeepney driver at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
front.
yeah.
So that's what they're selling with his friend. And I said, are you guys hungry? They said, yes, sir. I said, okay, hop in my vehicle. And I took them to Jollibee, and you could see the people looking, the cashiers were treating them a certain way. So I went up to the cashier politely and I said, listen, they are with me. Whatever they want,
Mm.
you give them. And I said, please treat them like customers.
Mm.
I know they're dirty and they smell and all that, but for me, I'm like, I just have them in my vehicle and I'm not bothered. You're over the counter, please. Maybe they've done mischief here before, I don't know, but today they're with me and I'm getting them something to eat, so please be nice to them. So they, okay, sir, sorry, sir, and they serve them, right? 2 years passed. Never saw this kid again, or his friend. I was in Tagaytay Market buying fruits and veggie, and this person walked past me, turned back, and go, "Sir, I know you." And I go, "What?" I remember him, and we're there and stuff. And I say, "Okay, did you put all your, And like, "No, sir." And so that he remembers me.
Yeah.
He remembers me, and it's the kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I gave was a meal at that time, sometimes 50 pesos, but you pick them up in that nice car you have, they smell bad, it doesn't matter. The fact that years later he passed me randomly and he
Remember.
still remember who I am,
Yeah.
you just never know how that small thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good to give me money. That's nice. Okay, I can help people, but I'm trying to also sow a seed in our hearts too, to say you can also extend that
You can do it also
kindness
yourself.
to somebody. You guys are prepping for CFI. I had a CFI who gave me free lessons when I was a student pilot. Yeah, free lesson. He's like, hey, I'm a CFI and I don't have a lot of students. Hey, let me help you with ground school. Let me help you with some landing. Yeah, and he took me up. I just paid for the fuel for the plane, and the instruction was free. You know, you guys could do something
Yeah.
like that, because when he did that for me, I was struggling with my landings. My school tuition is so costly, the plane at my school. So I joined a flying club. He reached out to me that he's a CFI in the same flying club, and he said, hey, Bennett, I want to help you. I said, all right. He's like, meet me at the airport. We went. And guess what? The free lesson he
Mm.
gave me, it fine-tuned my flying.
Mm.
So
Goes
it's
along.
it's just, and you guys even doing this platform, you just never know
Yeah.
who you're being blessed
Yeah.
with those little simulation and the
Yeah.
hero you're covering. There's people who are gonna, and if anyone reach out to me, they want to get involved. I say, hey, there's some guys who give
Yeah, sir. You
lessons and
can
stuff on
you
this
Mm.
can
stuff.
yeah.
Check
We'd
them
love
out.
that, sir.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
Check
love
them
to
out.
help them to, let's say, practice how to
Even
IR,
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
basic
in the
maneuvers. Yeah.
simulator.
Or
So
yeah.
if they have any
yeah,
questions.
review. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they can
Yeah.
join. They can join. We have also the Discord if you're familiar, Sir Bennett.
Yes, I
It's
am.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a
yeah. We
very
have the Discord. Sometimes you can join.
Maybe
The voice, I
the
do. I
Yeah,
voice.
used
yeah,
to I used to use Discord with Team Viewer as
Oh,
well, Team
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speak, because I fly on VATSIM. I don't
oh,
know if you
yes,
guys
sir.
are
Mm.
Yeah,
familiar with
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but yeah, VATSIM taught me how to do radio
Yeah.
calls.
Mm-hmm,
When
mm-hmm.
I went to flight school, first what 2 3 lessons, I'm nailing radio call. My instructor is like,
Where did
who
you?
are you? I said, I never told him.
Smurf,
Yeah, I kept it
smurfing.
a secret
Yeah.
because I just wanted to be undercover. So
Mm.
they didn't know that I studied a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
and
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
familiarized myself
Yeah.
with the lingo. I know how to file an IFR flight plan and VFR, right? Fight, file, all
Mm.
that lingo stuff. VATSIM helped me
Yeah.
online
Mm-hmm.
to prep, and I did that
Mm.
2 years or more before I went to a flight school,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
and that was so
Yeah.
helpful with radios and different things. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and I make content for people. So sometimes they will. There's one lady. Every time I go to Sangli Airport, she cleans the floor. And every
Mm-hmm.
time I go to Sangli, hey Cap, good morning. First time she met me, hi Cap, how are you? Cap, it's my daughter's birthday. Can you
Mm.
do a shout
Mm.
out video? Oh yeah,
Ah.
sure. She put her camera on me. I told congrats and shout out, da da da. And it became a norm. Every time I went, someone in her family has a birthday. Every time.
They
So
want
once
greeting.
I see her, I
Yeah.
know. Okay, someone's birthday. Hey man, da da da. So you just
Yeah. You just
never
never know.
know
Mm-hmm.
the small things
It
in
goes
life
along.
that will be a
Yeah.
blessing to other people.
Yeah.
Just never
All
know.
right, guys. So it's been a really awesome 2 hours 30 minutes, and I hope we could have
Yeah.
some more time, but unfortunately,
Time.
yeah, we
Yeah.
really have to cut it. Hopefully, sir, we can have a part two.
We can have
Yeah,
a
or
part two.
part three,
Yeah.
four, five.
All right. Sige.
Or we can
Or
do
at least,
like
yeah,
simulator
simulator
sessions.
sessions because we
Simulator.
also fly on VATSIM as well.
Ano na?
So yeah. And you guys have any more thank yous to give JP Don, Cap Davin before we end?
We just like to thank you, sir, for giving us your time and of
Mhm.
course telling us your story, and I hope it reaches the right audience and inspires other people to do the
Mm.
same thing that you're doing to help other
Thank you.
people as well.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
I
Thank you
Thank you
so
appreciate
so
much,
it.
sir,
much.
at it again.
Salamat po.
Yeah.
Salamat
Yes,
din
sir.
po.
Thank you,
Salamat,
sir.
sir.
Salamat.
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 Oh,
Mahal na mahal kita, sir. Mahal na mahal kita.
oh. Mahal ka namin, sir. Mahal. Oh, wait, there's a
Especially
comment here.
for
Sir, you have a new follower. I drop a follow on Cap Davin's IG and subscribe to his channel now. Super inspiring. God bless you and your work po, Cap.
sino
Yan.
sabi?
From
God
Si
bless
Shanda
Shanda
Rapisora.
Rapisora. Yan.
Yung
Yes,
IG
sir.
ko?
Sa IG mo daw,
Oh,
sir.
may
Yeah,
follow, sir.
IG and Facebook. Sir,
Yun. Sige, sige. Yeah, I've been getting
Okay. Shanda
Shandaps.
Rapisora.
Yeah.
I'll follow, sir, also.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Franz Mark. Yeah. I'm getting. Yeah, I'm actually getting.
New
I'm getting
followers.
followers
Yes, sir.
now.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
sorry, sorry.
Meron pa, from Carl Francisco, big salute to the Flight Club for giving Captain Davin the spotlight he
Yan.
deserved. Of
Yan.
course.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
thank you,
Thank you,
thank
thank you,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, if you run for president, I will vote. I will vote for you.
Hey, that's one of my jokes. I tell Filipino, vote for me, you'll get free bigas.
I never voted in any government, but if you will run for president, it will be the first.
I have to brush up on my Tagalog naman.
Alright.
Bisaya ako.
Bisaya, sir.
Alright.
Pero dili ko sabot.
Ayan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's so the story behind the joke is the reason why I tell people I'm Bisaya, it's because I would rather speak English than Tagalog. so, so it's a deep Filipino joke. You befriend Tagalog, I mean Bisaya,
Yeah.
and they will tell you they rather speak English,
English
than
than
Tagalog.
Tagalog.
Kasi
Yeah,
yung
yeah.
the Tagalog will
Yeah.
make,
They're-
they
They don't want to speak Tagalog. Yeah.
oh God. So that's why Duterte was one of my favorite presidents, He's Bisaya. Oh,
Alright.
more
Patay
English
ka
than
diha.
Tagalog.
Alright.
Shout out to president. Actually, I'd love to be president Duterte.
Yeah.
It's one of my dream.
To be a president?
Huh?
Your dream is to be a president?
To me.
No, to meet
President.
President
To meet the
Duterte.
president.
I'd
Yeah.
like to give him a
Yeah.
shout out just to take a picture.
Maybe this is the moment
Yeah, I
you're
just
waiting for.
want a photo with President Duterte talaga. That man made a like whenever the day when he won and it was announced, I arrived in the Philippines. The
Mm.
same day on a flight. The driver was trying to ask me yung foreigner price talaga. So I told him, Kuya, wag dyan ha. Because I will call the Duterte hotline. Ay, sir. So, yeah, so anywhere I went and people, I feel like and I did it so jokingly too. I said, hey, I will call the Duterte hotline on you. Huh? So he built that. Anyway, shout out to you, President Duterte.
We'll
Shout
talk
out,
to
President.
Duterte for your
Yes.
dream.
That's my idol. I just want a photo with
Yeah.
him. Yeah, that's my dream.
Alright.
That's my dream. But I appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
sir.
Usually I go to bed by 10. I've given 30.
It's okay.
10
Sorry,
o'clock.
sorry,
Good
sir.
night,
For the,
sir. Good night.
Night po. Well, blessings to you
Night
guys.
po.
Hey,
Yes,
kita
sir.
kids.
Yeah.
Kita
Wait,
kids.
maybe Lo, you can I think you can make a
Yeah.
group chat for us together with
Yeah. After
Sir
this.
David, and
The
maybe we can
contacts.
organize something so we
Yes.
can
Yeah.
help also
We're
the
thinking about the shirts also. We can like
Yeah, send
Sige,
sir.
sige.
make a design, and those
Yeah.
the income will go to to your
After this
Nice.
live,
All
I'll
right,
make that.
that's
group chat.
good. So here's what you guys need to do: send me a Facebook friend
Yes, sir.
request, as you've
Yeah.
been talking to me
Through the
through
page.
my page.
yeah.
It would be good that I have you guys as my friend, and then make a messenger chat where it's just us,
All of-
Yeah.
and
yeah.
we can coordinate.
Yes,
And
sir.
President Duterte will include President Duterte in
I'll
that.
add you, sir, on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'll send
Yes,
a friend
yes.
request to you, sir.
Alright.
Send me
There.
a
I sent it
friend
already.
request.
Alright. Me
Ina
too.
Miguel.
And I will, not just a friend request, kasi marami pa doon eh. So, when you send me a friend request, send a message.
yes,
sir.
first.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
go
I'll send
through.
you a
So,
message also.
yeah, so say, hey, shout out from the Flying Club.
Flying Club.
Ako na. Yeah.
Alright.
That way, all right, I have one here.
Yes, sir.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
Miguel Durante,
yes,
ikaw
sir.
ba?
Yes.
Accept
Thank
na,
you.
send wave.
I will.
Ako naman, sir, si John
Ang
Paul.
Soriano?
Ako yun, sir.
Yun.
Ina Miguel,
Okay. And then we have John Paul DG
Yeah.
here.
Present.
Alright, yun.
Wait,
Shout
wait,
out,
wait.
shout out.
What's your profile, sir?
Never
My
mind doon, sir.
profile.
Never mind. Never mind doon.
Because you don't have a profile picture. It's
No, I don't. That's deliberate. It's
I-
a
To be loose.
statement there.
It's a statement. It's
We
full-time
have mutual
ministry.
friends already. I'm mutual friends with Lorenz. How do you say your name? YNA? How do you?
Ina,
Yan?
sir. Ina.
It's
Ina,
Ina.
okay.
Ina.
Yeah, we have friends. I have Lawrence, Ina, and John already. So you will
Yeah.
know which
Yes, sir.
profile is mine.
We have also a mutual friend. It's John Reca. Do you know him? John Reca Azul from the Harris Aviation.
No, I think he just
But he
friended
he
me.
knows you very well. Yeah, he's friends with you in Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sir, I added you already.
Yes po,
Uh,
accepted na
Yan.
po.
Alright.
Thank you so much,
Ah.
sir.
After you
Yes,
accept,
yes.
you block Don, sir. You please block Don.
I already accepted naman.
After this live, I'll be making
Sayang.
Again,
the
sir,
group
thank
chat.
you
Too
very
late,
much.
too late.
Thank you for your time. It's been
No,
2.5
thank you,
hours,
sir.
and
Group chat
Appreciate
I know you're
tayo.
tired as
Let's
well.
connect.
Mm.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Alright. Mahal din
God
kita.
bless you, sir.
Mahal din kita.
Bye-bye.
Yes, maraming salamat.
Welcome po.
Ah.
Wala ka naman. Good
Sir,
night.
thank you.
Opo,
Bye,
bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Nice to
sir.
meet you.
So, yun, madaldal na uli ako. Tagalog na uli tayo.
Pag
Ako
sa
din,
Mirat,
matutulog
madaldal.
na ako. Yung sleeping time ko, parehas kami. 10 dapat. So,
Ayos
pwede
lang.
na ba ako
Ang
Madam,
special
usap
na
pa
eh.
tayo.
Ang ganda naman na pag-usapan.
Mag-ano muna tayo. Oo.
si
Sulit
Don.
na sulit nga eh.
Si Don, ang talking time, lumalabas ng 10 o'clock.
10
Tutok na
o'clock lang
tutok
gising
si
ko.
Don.
Yung mga
Oo,
bandang 8
dadal ko
o'clock,
na
hindi
naman.
nagsasalita.
Teka,
Dadal
pause
ko na
muna
naman.
ako.
Sige.
Yun lang.
Kailangan ko na talaga.
Si CR lang.
Na-record ba natin yun, Lo?
Ito na, wait lang. Mag-update muna
Sige.
tayo doon i-end na. Na-record to lahat.
Yes.
Ano muna tayo? Kasi may nagtatanong kanina, hindi
Hindi na,
natin
ano.
nabasa eh.
Oh.
Ito.
Kasi hindi
yung-
natin maano si Sir, ang dami.
Sorry.
Ito kay Sydney Cruz.
Masyadong
No, madam.
Oo.
Magaling si Sir talaga magkwento. Talagang nakita mo,
Oo
enjoy
nga.
na enjoy niya magkwento,
Mm.
mag-share.
Tsaka mas
grabe,
mas
grabe yung mga experience.
marami pang
Oo.
pwede
Tsaka
share.
yung-
Makakaingit nga eh, di ba, no? May mga
Gusto
experiences.
ko pa malaman mo
Actually, yun nga.
Oras na talaga.
Mm.
Pwede nga, sabi nga niya is parang kung gusto natin ma-experience, di ba? Pwede naman tayo mag-set. Para ma-share din
Oo nga
natin,
eh.
di ba? Sa
What goes
mga
on.
nanonood.
Kasi isipin mo pag nag-air, yun nga sinasabi ko, pag nag-airlines ka na, pre. Di ba?
Yun na yun eh.
Di mo na mabibigay yung ganong commitment.
Tsaka parang ano yan eh, parang nare-realize ko yung parang sa motor, di ba? May tinatawag sila na end bike, di ba?
End game, parang ganon.
End game na bike na parang yun na yun eh. So, Kaser talaga, siya yung opposite
Oo
eh.
nga.
Diba? Siya yung opposite nung iniisip ng mga common na
Yun
gusto
nga.
magpiloto,
Oo nga.
di ba? Hindi yan yung iniisip nila na grabe, nagpiloto ako tapos, di ba? Pero grabe talaga yung experiences
Iba.
na shinare sa atin ni Sir
Eye-opener nga.
Davinn, no? Ayan, sorry may na-miss tayo, no? Balikan lang natin.
Oo.
From Sir
Yung-
ba to? Sir Sydney, no?
Sydney
Cruz or ma'am?
Tatanong
Hindi
siya
ko makita
kanina
eh.
Ito.
Nabasa ko nga.
Sir,
Good
ayan,
evening,
nakita ko yung
Captains.
profile. So, good
Realistic
evening.
question lang po. Is it still worth it to pursue flying here sa PH ngayon? Because ang daming pilots na tapos na sa training pero no job openings at all, especially airlines.
Ayan. So, ano ba? Sagutin natin or gawa tayo ng special topic about
Hindi, sagutin na natin ngayon.
Pwede.
Yung opinion niya, short opinion niya dyan.
kung nanonood pa siya. Pero
Hindi,
I doubt. Hindi, naisip ko
panoorin
pwede
na lang
natin
niya.
yan eh. Pwede natin pwede natin.
sagutin natin, sayang naman yung tanong niya. Tapos gawa tayo
Hindi,
ng
may
another
naisip na
topic.
ako.
Oo.
Ang gawin natin yan mismo.
Sagutin
Sagutin lang natin ngayon. Ikaw pa.
I-expound natin
short
dun.
ano lang.
Ano?
Oo. Tapos i-explain natin yung bakit sa susunod na. Si JP.
Hindi, sige. Ako
JP.
Ano na?
yung isang opinion ko lang.
Kasi,
Hindi naman, tulad nga ng, missionary flying, hindi lang
Pinatapon lang,
naman
pinatapon.
airlines yung di ba? Marami pang job opening dyan. You just really have to look for it. So I feel like it's still worth it to pursue flying, lalo na if you love it. Yeah. If you love what you're doing, keep doing it. Diba?
tama.
Kasi kung sa akin kasi yan, still worth it po ba lalo na sa airlines? Yung airlines kasi hindi naman porket pagkatapos mo diretso, diba? May chances sa iba pero hindi sa lahat 'yan. Ang pinaka-importante diyan, kung gusto mo magpiloto, gawin mo, diba? May mga step by steps kasi yan eh. Pwede ka naman yun nga, ang daming options, diba? Hindi lang naman airline pilots ang job eh. 'Diba? Puwedeng start ka muna dito, ganyan. Pero kung may opportunity siyempre, lahat naman tayo gusto niyan mag-airlines or yung iba ako parang ngayon na gusto ko ma-experience naman
Oo.
yung 'di ba, yung ginagawa ni Sir Davinn, 'di ba? Oh. So, hindi mo rin kasi malalaman eh. Along the way ako during nung ground school ko, ang gusto ko maging FIC. 'Di ba? Yun muna bago ako mag-airlines kasi mas 'di ba, parang mas nakakapag-share ka, nakakapagturo ka, 'di ba? Ako personally 'yun. Yun
No.
naman yung sinasabi ko. Pero ayan nga, pero balik tayo sa tanong niya, yung pinakatanong niya kasi, here, busy, ang daming pilots na tapos na sa training pero no job opening at all, especially sa airline. So, valid naman, 'di ba? Valid naman yung sinabi niya na
Kasi risky nga, 'di
Mm.
ba? Ganun.
oo, pero yun nga, it boils down kung mahal mo ba talaga or gustong-gusto mo ba talaga maging piloto. Kasi katulad niyan, kahit kami, 'di
Mm.
ba? Sabihin na namin, patapos na kami or tapos na kami, ayun nga,
Hindi pa
wala
rin
ngang job
sure kung saan
opening.
tayo, 'di ba?
Wala, 'di ba? Wala ngang job openings. Pero dahil nga mahal namin 'to, so ginamit namin. So, 'di ba, lahat naman
Oh.
tayo nagbayad sa flight training. So, gumagawa kami ng
Ah.
way. Ayan, especially yan,
Hi,
bumalik si
sir.
Sir David. Oh. Sir,
Hi, sir.
Tagalog na 'to kaya
Yeah, we're just
madaldal na
wrapping
kami,
up.
Tagalog na. Oo.
Are you still watching the vlog? Because we're answering a question from the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah. So there's someone asking Sir Davin if good evening, captains. Is it a realistic question lang po? Is it still worth it to pursue flying here sa Philippines, especially
Because
today, because too many pilots don't have pilots already is done with their training, pero no job openings at all, especially in airlines. So yun yung tanong, sir.
video ni
Sige,
hindi
ayos ako. Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The airlines or anything. So the opportunity here is very limited. However, if you're gonna base your enthusiasm on the current situation, then it's actually saying something about the kind of person you are in life. And it's not just about flying anymore. Not all the time in life you want to sit down and have a certain calculation because life is always changing. You know, when I came to this aviation world, it was very competitive, very
Yeah.
competitive. Pandemic hit, which was a nightmare for the average person, but for me it was the moment where I came to the front and I saw a lot of airline pilots grounded, cannot fly, and here I am, nobody. I'm the only one out there flying a little airplane. So in life, if you're gonna pursue something and you're already setting up yourself for failure, looking at other people, I don't think that's the best way to approach life.
Yeah.
Be more optimistic,
Yeah.
right? Because you never know what opportunity is gonna present itself to you. There might be 100 people in that line trying to get that thing, and they pick you. Why? You
Yeah.
never quit. You know, you were optimistic, you pursue. So I would say the realism behind the pilot dream starts with you as an individual. It has to be starting with you because even if someone came and say, "Yeah, you're guaranteed a job," something can happen. You finish the license and then you're riding your motorcycle to Tagaytay and you break a leg, you lose an eye, you have some disability, and you're like, "Yeah, but the job was secure. It was promised." Now you're crippled and you cannot fly anymore. What do you do then?
Yeah.
So I tell people don't have anxiety and in advance. Be optimistic about life. Don't look at other people's failures or in not being able to accomplish the dream to decide whether you chase the dream or not. So it's really up to the individual. I just came back because of that question
Yeah.
to say, if this guy listened to, if whoever wrote that really listened to my story, they would
Mm.
know. Be more optimistic than
Mm.
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
chase the
Exactly.
thing. You never.
Mm.
I never dreamed that I would ever fly airplane,
Mm.
Yes, sir.
and here I am today as a missionary pilot.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And also,
Life
yeah, yeah,
is fun.
go,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Also, Davin. Also, this group was made because of that optimistic. Because me and Don and also Lo and Ina and other, we have also other two, but because they're busy,
Mm.
so it's because of our optimistic side that okay, we don't have something to do yet, but yet we're still a pilot. Why do w- let's make a group or a community that we can also help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the knowledge that we have.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
all of
Pretty.
us here is we're aspiring to be, have a work after it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So the training, so why don't we create this community? Let's make content, we can help them.
Mhm.
And especially you as a guest, you inspired a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. And optimism help, guys, because look at it
Yeah.
this way, right? Um, we don't know what the future holds. It
Mm.
might be
Yeah.
so dark
Yes, sir.
right now and you cannot
Mm.
see what tomorrow holds, but anything can change. The question is, if tomorrow we start having tons of Filipino pilot getting job, you're not gonna be qualified because 2, 3 years ago you look at the current situation, didn't want to go to
Mm.
flight school and chase that. So now it's like sayang for you. You
Yeah.
had the
Mm.
Mm.
opportunity, but you never
Took it.
chased it, you
Yeah.
know.
Never took
And
it.
so
Mm.
I tell people approach life with a lot more
Mm.
optimism because
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
what you procrastinate with in this area, you can do it in other areas too. So just be optimistic. And in the aviation world, if you have that kind of mindset, maybe it's actually good that you don't go venture out
Mm.
on airplane because you might find yourself in a situation, and these guys can back me up on this. There's the hazardous attitude that we study in ground school.
Mm.
One of
Yes.
them is resignation. This person with this comment, maybe they're already resignating. So
Mm.
you go out there and say you're flying along and you find yourself in some challenging weather or some challenging
Mm.
Mm.
winds, and then you just resignate. You're like,
Yeah.
see, well, actually, I give you a story about this question in particular. I was going into Island before. There was a Cebu Pacific plane ahead of me. I'm number two for landing. He's number one. He went there, and then last minute he went miss. So I'm
Mm.
number two. So I'm flying the approach. I'm good, and he went miss. So I go, Captain. Why did you go miss? He took a while to respond, and I'm still following. And then finally he came on. He's like, yeah, the runway disappeared last minute. He lost visual of the runway, so he went miss.
Mm.
I continued and I said, okay, well, not because he didn't see the runway means it's going to be the same
Mm.
thing for me. So, you
Same
know what?
situation.
Fly the airplane,
Mm.
forget about that pilot's experience. It doesn't have
Mm.
to be yours.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
got there, it's the same thing, zero
Mm.
visibility, no runway in sight. But I continued. I passed the vicinity. My GPS says 0.5, point 0.3, point 0.1. Then it says zero. And I go,
Mm.
I'm here, but I cannot see anything. I popped out on the other side and it was clear. So I just bank left, did a teardrop entry, landed on the opposite end, sat there
Mm.
in the airplane for 20 minutes, zero visibility, heavy rain. And then the Cebu Pacific guy came after that. The
Mm.
moral of the story for that for me is this. If you already have that perception of looking at others to decide whether you're going to chase something or not, in the aviation world, that attitude will
Mm.
get you killed.
Yeah.
It will
Yes, sir.
get you killed. So, I mean, I just came back for that
Mm.
question.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
So,
Thank you
whoever
so
Uh,
much.
wants,
I
brother,
have a
go.
like I have to answer the question with a question. My 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 take on that is, can he or she live his life not being a pilot, because
Knowing the
because
fact.
the because because I don't I mean I can't live my life not being a pilot. So I will always take the risk of like studying and training being a pilot, not knowing if what will happen to me afterwards, than not trying to be a
Yeah,
pilot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no
That's good.
regrets.
That's
Yeah.
good. So, a summary, guys: if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The
If you did
opportunity
not try,
comes
you
when you have a
already
ticket.
failed.
you
Yes.
you miss 100% of the chance
Y-
you didn't
You
take.
take.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
yeah, yeah.
and that will be a miserable life, to be honest.
Yeah.
Look beyond reality, man. I'm a Christian, so my channel is called Flying by Faith. People
Mm.
ask why. It's called Flying by Faith because I just never knew where anything was gonna come from, money, resources, etc.
Yeah.
But at every step of the way, in the darkest moment when I think that's it, then I'm done, the Lord shows up with the rainbow. He shows up with the silver lining.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like that red airplane had bad corrosion that took from the cargo hold right back to the tail was covered with corrosion. I had people say, "This is only good for spare parts, Cap. It cannot be
Mm.
restored. That's it.
Mm.
Maybe we'll just trash it." And I was discouraged. I'll be honest. I was discouraged, and I'm having a conversation with my director in my discouragement, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, do you think God gave you the airplane just for you to use it couple months and then it's a piece of garbage after that?" And I said to
Mm.
him, okay, if you put it that way, fine. I
Mm.
believe in God. I know He can find a way. And you know what happened, guys? Miraculously, an airframe specialist with 50 years experience dealing with
Mm.
corrosion heard about the story of this plane needing to be restored. He's from Alaska. I'm in the Philippines. He had an in-law that died in Cebu. He came for the
Mm.
funeral, traveled from Cebu to the north there in Isabela,
Mm.
looked at the airplane and he goes, I've seen a lot worse corrosion than that. This is
It's
nothing. You
too
know
Too
what?
flimsy.
basic.
Yeah, he's like, this is nothing. And
Wala yan.
miraculously, the guy said, hey, listen, I'm gonna go back to Alaska, settle stuff a little bit. I'm gonna buy
Mm.
my ticket. I'll come here for a month. I'm gonna ship my food and my tools and everything. And this guy restored the airplane in three
Mm.
weeks for free.
Yeesh.
Mm.
For
For
free.
free. Buy his own ticket. All I had to do was buy him all the Coca
Mm.
Cola he want, all the snacks, all the stuff. Just feed him. They gave him
Mm.
housing, and he
Mm.
did an amazing job.
Mm.
People were criticizing, oh,
Mm.
he's doing it in the Philippines. He doesn't have a rig. He doesn't
Mm.
have the tool. It's in the Philippines. And I did a video where, because I told him, I said, this plane will fly itself. If
Mm.
I trim it right and let go and the winds are right, it will hold altitude and heading up to 5 minutes without banking or dipping or nothing. It flies itself. When I fly it, it's just this little finger right here.
Yeah.
Small
Mm.
correction. I told him that after he restored it with limited resources like a shop and stuff, that airplane flies just the same as if nothing
Mm.
happened to it. And it's the entire tail section. Your tail is not put right, the plane will crab and
Mm.
do all kind. It
Yeah.
won't fly straight, right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm telling this person, don't bank life like that.
Yeah.
Don't develop that attitude in life because you and I can succeed where millions have failed.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
don't use millions of failure and millions of pilot and thousands who went through flight school and never got. Why not be the first? Why not be
That's
the
Mm.
only
true.
one?
That's
You
the
know,
mindset.
be more optimistic. Anyway, guys, translate that answer to Tagalog so they get it.
Yes. Of course.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Sige,
much again,
sige.
sir.
Salamat,
Alrighty.
sir.
All right.
Yes.
Good night, good night.
Night po.
Nice, sir.
Good night po.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sige po.
Malupet, malupet.
Ayun. So I hope that answers your question.
Oo.
Ah,
Pero,
yeah.
galing din, no? Galing din. Buti nagtanong siya. At habang nandito si sir, bumalik pa si sir
Oo
na.
nga, bumalik pa para
Galing din
sagutin.
yung sagot.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Actually,
yun.
madami nagtatanong ng ganyan tanong.
Yeah.
Actually, yan nga yung pwede nating discuss, no? Next live.
Next
Mga ganyan
topic.
question, diba?
Discuss nga ni Sir Davin. Sige, next. Magawa natin ng para madami
episode na gano'n, no?
Madaming nag-iisip
So,
din ng
may mga updates ba tayong ma-share?
Updates natin, meron kaming ginawan content, no? Ginawa kaming Lalamove Rider ni Don. Nagplano.
Nasunog.
Kaya ganyan po yung kulay namin, hindi pantay.
Hindi to dahil sa Cessna.
Hindi dahil sa Cessna.
Pag-deliver ng t-shirt.
Oo.
Pero madami
yun,
pa
guys.
kaming t-shirt na hindi na di-deliver.
Pero
Diba?
na-message na, no? Na-message na natin lahat. Siguro inaayos na
Konti
lang.
na lang.
Sure, no?
Konti na lang yung shirt na nandito.
Ah,
Pero may sobra, no?
Meron pang sobra, so may mga around 15 pa dito.
so
15
if
to
ever
20.
na gusto mong humabol na magkaroon nitong The Flight Club,
Yung kung may
Pwede na
size
naman
sila,
namin agad
pwede.
pwede na agad i-ship. So message
meron
lang
naman.
kayo.
Message lang. Kung may size, kung meron pa. Diba?
Oo.
Tapos siguro gawa tayo ng shirt, no? Na para kay Sir Davin. Tapos,
may naisip na akong design
para dyan.
Word lang siya, 'di ba? Maganda kasi yung flying by faith, tapos isa paid by flying. Naka-cross yung paid by flying, tapos flying by faith tayo.
latag natin yan.
Pwede, 'di ba? Sige, ayusin natin 'yan, tapos yung income donate natin para mas makatulong tayo.
Ano pa ba? Yung video part 2.
Yung part 2 sa Riso.
Kanina yan.
Next naman
Gagawin ko
yun.
yung shorts.
Next week naman.
Sige, gagawin ko yung short.
Ito na yung itsura ko, 11 na. Matulog na tayo.
Spotify upload. Spotify upload. Dami natin gagawin. Spotify upload.
Diyos ka.
So there's
Intro. Ipangako mo dito sa harap ng
My
publiko.
God. Napakahirap po nung intro na pinapagawa ni Don.
Basta, ang importante, yung part 2. At least,
Pakiusap po.
Part 2. Tapos meron tayo, sasabihin na, wag muna natin sabihin yun, JP. Hindi pa natin na yung headset.
wag muna.
Wag muna. Sige,
wag muna.
surprise na lang.
Sa
Surprise
susunod
na
na
lang.
lang nila malalaman
Surprise
yan.
na lang yun.
Ayun. Sige. So,
Sige, okay. Gutom na ako. Antok na.
Antok na.
Pero na mga solid neto, isipin mo 3 hours.
ayun
Grabe.
nga eh.
2 hours.
Ang sarap ng usapan.
Oo nga eh. Pero parang bitin pa nga eh.
Ayun nga eh. Kaya dapat may part 2 pa tayo kasama si
Oo,
Magkakaroon
dapat
tayo
yung
niyan,
part two
part 2,
naman.
Part 2, 3, 4. Di ba? The more the merrier.
Okay. So yun, papaalam na tayo guys. Kami pala uli ang The Flight Club.
I am Lo.
Don.
Okay.
Nagkasabay.
Madali na eh.
Dapat ayusin natin kasi yun. Isa ba?
Kami kasi nilo yung magkatabi eh. Oh.
Ayun nga.
Nagkaiba-iba eh. Sige, game ulit.
Dito ako sa
ulit.
OBS. Iba-iba dito sa OBS. Dito ako nakatingin ngayon eh.
Ulit,
Ayusin natin yan. Nagkakabungguan tayo eh. Buti dito tayo nagkakabungguan. Hindi sa...
Antok na antok eh.
Hindi sa air eh.
Hindi, sige. JP Don Lo Ina. Ayun. Yun yung ginagawa natin before eh. Ako, tas
Ina,
Ina.
Ina.
Ako yung huli.
Yun yung ginagawa natin before.
Ina.
Nakaka 7 episodes na tayo, hindi pa rin natin makuha yan ha. Ako nga pala ulit si Cap JP. Salamat po ulit.
Don, ako nga ba si Don?
Ayoko
si
na.
Cap Lo.
Cap Ina.
Alright.
Salamat po ulit. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.